So, hello there, fellow travelers. I'm Mark,
I'm Jocelyn. Good morning.
and we're here to talk travel in this time of limited travel. Also, we have some announcements for what's going to be going on in April on the channel. So, you guys have you fellow travelers have some things to look forward to while we're all kind of stuck at home over the next month. Before we get started, I want to say hi to everybody on there: Michael, Sean, Galvancing Gals in Indy, Koval. Mike, Markle, Ronnie,
Gui.
Armin, Gui, yeah, Mario. Who else we got?
Lots of people.
Winter is coming. It was here. I was answering some questions a little bit earlier. Hey, Brian Boyd. Hope you're doing well. You're looking good in that shirt, my friend. All kinds of good stuff. Hey, Henrik. So,
Oh, Darian's on.
oh, hey, Darian. Good to see you,
Eric.
buddy. Eric. Oh, hey, Dominic's on. So, got the crew. Welcome, Mark.
Good morning. Oh, we got a good Sunday from Melbourne.
Yeah. Hey, Jimmy. Hope you're doing okay, buddy.
Hey.
How we're coping with lockdown. If you want to see how we're coping with lockdown, we actually put out a quarantine blog most every day. Well, it's been every day so far.
Yeah.
This week, and then we had one for the summary last week to kind of see what we're doing. I try to stay sane because we know a lot of you are having cabin fever right now. That's one of the reasons why we look forward to doing these live feeds, because it gives us a chance to kind of talk and see things, stuff like that. And before, hey Manuel in Germany, good to see you. By the way, we have not been to Hawaii. I want to go through a few things that are going to be happening in April, so you all have an idea of what's going on. So you know, if are we just going to be live feeds? Are going to be videos again? Because again, a lot of people have been writing us about that.
The Means to Travels are on.
Oh, hey!
Good morning, y'all.
They're nice. This is a traveling couple. You should say hi to them.
I
So here's how it's going to work in April. So for the Walter's World channel, like the YouTube channel, what you'll see is we will continue through the entire month of April. We're going to keep doing the 9 a.m. Saturday live feeds and the Wednesday evening 8 p.m. Live feeds, Chicago time, because we think this is really doing a good job for a lot of people and for us too, to just have people to talk to. I personally don't see the lockdown and stuff like that stopping around the world by the end of the month, where everybody can just go do whatever they want. So we want to be there for people, because even if maybe your lockdown goes out, there's other people that aren't. So we're going to keep doing this through April. So that's going to be every Wednesday at 8 p.m. and Saturday at 9 a.m. And then on the Walter's World channel for the YouTube, we're going to start putting out new videos starting tomorrow, actually. We're going to do new videos every Sunday. Well, it'd be Saturday, Sunday, and Wednesday at 7 a.m. We're going to, Sunday and Wednesday we'll release at 7 a.m. And then it's been a long day, and it's only 9 a.m. On Saturday, after the live feeds, we will have a premiere of a new video. So we'll have live feed, we'll do this from 9 to 11, and then at 11 o'clock, we'll premiere a new travel video on Saturdays. On Sundays, it'll be the normal video upload kind of thing. So at 7 a.m., boom, there'll be a new Walter's World travel video, and then Wednesday mornings at 7 a.m. And tomorrow's video is actually what to know when you visit the U.S., and I started editing that one this week, and I think that was when I was at my most plumpest. So I was like, wow. I mean, I'm still plump, and the quarantine 19 is real, people, so be careful. But that'll be coming out. Now, for other stuff, if you want to follow our blog, we're doing the daily quarantine blogs out there, but also we're going to be putting up blogs from some of our older videos, so you can read up instead of just having to watch the video. So we'll have the video on the top and then a blog version of it, because I know some of you don't get a chance to actually watch the videos or read it, because work doesn't want you watching videos while you're at work. So we're putting those up, so that'll be up every day in April as well. On our Professor Walters channel, we will have new business videos at 7 a.m. every day, actually from now through the end of April. So putting out a lot of stuff just to give people something to do in case you're stuck at home and you're trying to figure out what's going on. So I just want to give you all a heads up for this. Yes, my petting pet that was petting me, because you're wanting me to stop talking when I'm trying to do something.
I know, because
it lets me interrupt you.
I was just letting you know I needed to talk in a minute. Not that I was interrupting entirely.
Footy Surfer 1981, thank you very much for the super chat. Ha, love your channel. Are you ever going to visit Wales again in the future? Would recommend a ride along the South Wales Police. Ride along with the South Wales Police. Great experience. I wouldn't mind doing that. I think we would like to get back to Wales.
Yeah.
For sure. We had a good time there.
We didn't get nearly enough time there. Wales is really cool, and there's a lot of hiking and stuff I want to do. I would definitely be up for another one, and I wouldn't mind sticking our kids in the back of a police car for a while. I mean, I think it would be good for them. What I wanted to say to you, or when you were talking, is that my blog is not going to be daily. I cannot manage it. I would love to say I can do it every single day, but it is killing me. It's like a lot of time, and partially because I'm trying to find pictures to put in there, and sometimes I'm just taking random pictures around the house to put in there. But I might just do 3 or 4 a week. I'm going to continue it, and it will be fairly frequent, just not every single day. And quite frankly, I don't know that I have a lot to say every single day. It's just random stuff that's on my mind about this staying here at home. So anyway.
Yeah, but there'll still be the travel, but we'll still have travel blogs. Will be every day.
Still be up.
So that'll still be going every day. So you have something to stop by the WaltersWorld.com website for that. So Olivia, hope you're doing well. Marie in Puerto Rico, hola. Hope you're doing well.
We have a couple people.
Virginia and Houston. Hey. Oh, from Porto, right?
Hola.
Hey, everybody.
Bon dia.
From Chicago, Elise in Chicago. Clint's on there. Clint Carter asks, do you think cruises will survive? So for those who don't know, the coronavirus stimulus package help, like what the government put together, does not help the cruise lines, because what is interesting, though the cruise lines are a lot of them are based in Miami, they're actually registered in other countries, so they don't pay as much taxes theoretically. I mean, maybe there's different stuff, but they're not actually paying very much corporate tax in the U.S. So if you're paying no taxes in the U.S., I think they probably thought, well, if you
don't pay taxes here, you're not going to get a bailout with taxpayer dollars.
Yes.
I think
that's what ended up happening. So the cruise lines are going to have a hard time. Hopefully the countries they're based out of can help them out there. But here's the thing: is cruises will come back, because there's been a lot of crises over the time, and cruises still come back because people like cruises. I mean, they like doing it. They like going on there, seeing a lot of places, eating till they about explode, all kinds of stuff. So
having an all-in-one experience, but getting to see a lot of different places. There's a lot of benefit to cruising.
Yeah.
I think that you're going to see less cruises happening for a while. Like, they're not going to be able to afford to run so many, but
and I think that's where it's going to go into. I was on a podcast with Hawkeye down in Texas, and we were talking about the cruise lines and how, they kind of haven't suffered as much in other crises as much as they are on this one, and how it's going to take them time to come back. But what's going to happen is you're going to see like the popular lines, going to the Bahamas for 3 days, stuff like that. Those big ones that like always fill up, they're going to start filling up. They'll be the ones that come back sooner versus the off the beaten path ones, because I think you're going to see a lot of people that are cutting back on their travel, at least their travel spend. So it's going to be more of I'm going to go to the guarantee because I know Paris. I'm going to go to the guarantee because I know the Bahama cruise, versus trying something else. So I think you'll have that. And that's just a risk thing for a lot of people.
Gallivanting girls, we are not drinking anything we're having tea. Neither of us is big coffee drinkers. I like coffee, not American coffee. I like really strong, I like espresso. I like kick you in the butt coffee, and I rarely find that here. So.
Yeah, she knocks it back a lot in Portugal and Italy, that's for sure.
Uma bica.
Johnny in Okinawa, good to see you on here, buddy.
Good morning.
Brian Boyd, Mark does not like the August tea of the South. No, I don't. I do not.
I do.
If you ever watch, there's a channel. It's a Southern thing, y'all. Or that's what's called, right?
It's a Southern thing.
It's a Southern thing. They're on YouTube. They're huge on Facebook. Watch some of their videos about the South and their weather. It's pretty funny. Brian's up in Minneapolis right now, having a good time.
Oh, Jennifer is watching from Scotland, and you've got your Scotland shirt.
Represent.
She said, love it.
Represent our people. Hello, Nesu in quarantine. Oh, Reina in Turks and Caicos. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're enjoying the sun and the beautiful sand there. My God, it's so gorgeous there.
Oh, hang on. Ginger, I spent February in Seoul for a treat. Last time I went to the city.
The center.
Oh, the center of a pandemic for my birthday. Oh my gosh. So I've been going through this disruption for 2 months now. No checks at LHR. Wow. That must have been a minute ago when you came in, though, right?
Well, she's there in February.
Yeah.
And some people are saying like some of the checks on there, but like they're saying some of the airlines are only at like 10% capacity. Some airlines are just shutting down for a few weeks just because there's no traffic, as there shouldn't be, except for it should be doctors, researchers, healthcare providers, people like that need to go, or people helping to run the supply chain. You're looking at skeleton crews now. Alicia is in Minnesota as well. What is your favorite city in Germany? Mine is Hague and Bull. For me, I like Bamberg the best. That's my favorite place to go to there. But also, I like visiting like the Harz Mountains and going to like Quedlinburg and Vennegoode around there. Goslar is nice too. So that's kind of my thing. My
and
favorite.
I like Freiburg.
Yeah, Jocelyn loves Freiburg. So, and then I think for the big city for me, I lived in Berlin for a number of years, so I've got a special place in my heart for Berlin. So there is that. Valerie in Sacramento, good to see you.
The Kuchenhof is closed. There's not a flower parade.
All
You know
museums are
what?
closed.
So I was talking to Sahil, who follows along on here a lot. We were writing the other day about the Kuchenhof, and I wonder if you can get aerial photos because the flowers are still blooming. They don't know that there's a pandemic going on. Nobody told them to stay home. So I think that would be really cool if the Kuchenhof got on that and did some kind of, virtual tour or whatever, because I'm sure it's beautiful.
And there is a lot of museums that are trying to put together some virtual tours, though some of them are just like, here's a picture and a description of this painting. But some are doing nice where you're walking by and you can go through. So I would see if you can do some virtual tours that way. That's kind of cool.
And if y'all haven't found a cowboy museum in Oklahoma,
follow their Twitter feed. That's pretty funny.
Hashtag the cowboy. So like the symbol, the hashtag, like the pound sign, and then write out the word hashtag. And then the cowboy. It's hilarious.
Yeah, he's pretty funny. So there was one on here I want James McAllister. Have you guys thought about a video from Australia after the coronavirus and the fires here in Australia? Our tourism industry will need a lot of help and visits from overseas tourists. That was always part of our plan to go. I was looking to go in summer of 2021. We were going to do Australia, New Zealand, and then come up kind of that side of the Pacific. But now we're looking at, because we might have our flight, we'll probably have our flights in May and June will be canceled. So we want to move that money to other flights. So we might be coming this December, January of this coming year, to move it up to go down there and spend time to travel. Because that's the thing is you have like Australia, which just had the worst wildfires probably ever. And then they have this on top of that. I mean, so if we can help, definitely, because I want to get down there. If you didn't know, I was an exchange student in Temora, New South Wales, which is about 90 minutes from Wagga. Well, you can say Wagga Wagga, but everybody
I like
got
to
from
say
there.
Wagga Wagga.
I know, but if you're like from there, it's just Wagga. Thank you. Anyway.
Because you're from there.
That's right, my people. Jan Wright, love you, babe. You're awesome. That was my mom there. So that Olivia Lindquist, Mark, when was the last time you were in Sweden? 2 years ago. But we got to get back. We have a buddy of ours who's based there. Really loved it.
Captain Bunny Killer.
Oh, that is an awesome name. Where is that?
Right there. Beautiful weather in Bavaria today. How are you guys? We are well.
It's not beautiful weather here.
It has been. So we had one day of sunshine this week, and
like
I swear to you, well, whatever. We got some hours of sun, and
we got to remember what it kind of looks like.
We all kind of jumped and ran outside. Actually, Mark and I had gone for a walk in the morning, and I worked out, and then I went straight outside and I worked in the yard, whatever, for like, I don't know, 2 or 3 hours. It was glorious, just getting in the dirt, and it was just an awesome day. You know what else I did on Thursday? Thursday night, I had a Zoom with 3 of my girlfriends from high school. We were all supposed to get together this weekend, and obviously we can't. And so we all got together on Zoom and we spent 3 hours just laughing and talking and laughing some more. And we had a couple drinks and it was really, really good. So I'm telling you, things like Zoom and Skype and all the other wonderful apps out there right now are a lifesaver. It really helps. So I hope you guys are making good use of them. Mr. Means to Travel. TSA was saying 200,000 passengers per day are clearing checkpoints at airports nationwide versus 2 million usually. Yeah, that's about right. They're saying 10%, so that hits it. It's pretty crazy. It's like I think about all the people who are not employed because of that. Think about airports running on skeleton crews, all baggage handlers, all the people cleaning the airports. Staffing all the shops and things like that. It's just air traffic controllers. It is everything, and it's shocking. And I pray we can come back from it. It's really scary. Sherry says a Scotland shirt. Yay! Got to reschedule our 2-month UK Scandinavian tour for next May and June. just canceled 19 lodgings. Maybe we'll get to go to Montana this summer instead. Got recommendations. Wow, Sherry. I knew you had a big trip coming up. That's a lot. 19 lodgings is a lot. I know I haven't been to Montana since I was a kid, so I can't really give you a ton of stuff. If you'll DM me, I do have a friend of ours from high school. He runs a really great fly fishing company, but it's not just fly fishing. They do other stuff. But I will give you his information because I can't. Do you know the name of it off? I think it's called Big Sky.
Shocking.
I know, but I think it's called.
Helpful.
But I want to make sure I give you the right one because I'm not
Look
going
it
to.
up. You have your phone right there.
I know. Let's just see.
Anyway,
We'll give
so
Joe a shout out.
So Shunningsburg from Ireland. Hey, hope you're doing well. Let's see, Jeff. Hope the weather that we are supposed to have here in the Midwest today misses you. I hope so too. Like they're saying that we might have not golf ball, egg size. Well, they're very bright. Hen. I'm like, well, it's a chicken, but okay. Hen size eggs of hail. So if those have been following during the coronavirus quarantine, I have cleaned out our garage, our basement, our storage area in our basement, and actually got 2 cars in our garage for the first time ever in this house's history because the hail is going to be pretty bad, or at least supposed to be. So hopefully we'll be okay with that. Did you find it?
It is called Big Sky Anglers, and our friend's name is Joe. And he started the company, but he's a great guy. I mean, just an incredible human being. And he knows so much. He's very learned. So you'll have a great time with him. He's also just fun. So.
Yeah, his dad's near and dear to my heart too. Let's see, Steve, did you go for Steve Williams? I have reservations in Italy in May. Should I cancel? I think so. Yes, because if you can cancel and get your money back, do that. If they're not letting you do that, maybe postpone your stuff later. Because Italy is still in lockdown. We have friends of ours there. They sent us pictures. They're going out with the N95 mask. They have to wear a mask and gloves to go out and go shopping because it's still very, very bad there. Eric, I need a Zoomcation. I had 10 hours of meetings this week. Yeah, there's a lot of Zoom. So I'm using a Microsoft Surface here, and on that one the camera's up here. But then I have a Lenovo computer, and the camera's down there by the keypad. It's horrible because then it's like this. Hello, how are you today? It's just horrible. Thing. It's horrible. So so I had those. I'm like, hi. Yeah, there's no good angle for this one. So I need to figure out how to run those things, like and use like my camera I film our videos with or something like that. Because this is just it's brutal with all the Zoom, and I don't know. There's been a lot of issues. Like I got an email from work today because we teach classes, and they're like, make sure you put a password on your Zoom because people are like hopping in on Zoom things and like disrupting the class. I'm like, you have the block person thing on there, and you can do that, but apparently people, they're trying to find ways to keep themselves, busy.
Hey, Brian is saving money on trips, and he is using that money to pay off his student loans.
Hey!
Give him a round of applause.
Awesome.
It's a good feeling.
Awesome.
Oh, all right. What else?
Good morning, Claire. Hope you're doing well. I'm glad we can do these consistent live streams. For those of you that weren't here at the beginning of the live stream, we will continue the Wednesday 8 p.m. Chicago time and Saturday 9 a.m. Chicago time live feeds through the entire month of April. But also we're going to be putting out travel videos again starting tomorrow morning with a what to know before you go to the U.S. Also, we're going to let our patrons and our members vote on what the Wednesday video will be each week. So we'll have that. So if you want to join up, you can do that. It's a little extra benefit for you. But we will put out videos, 3 videos a week to help people stay sane. We also have travel blogs, quarantine blogs coming out every day. Well, quarantine might not be every day, but the travel blogs will be every day. So we have a lot of stuff that'll give you something to do aside from the Zoom meetings and the trying to homeschool and going crazy kind of stuff. So if we can help out, I'm glad we can.
Thomas Hughes asks, how is the
Costa Rica in January?
Costa Rica in January.
Great.
So is it great in January, honey?
Tell them to watch all of my Costa Rica videos.
Yeah, we have a pile of Costa Rica videos. We were there we were there in January?
We were there in January, we were there in February.
Okay, so it was kind of perfect. Oh, it's like November that it rains, yeah? October, November. Okay, sorry. So, yes, go to Costa Rica in January. You'll love it. All right. It's zooming fast, and I just can't. I can't move it. I'm having trouble. You do it.
Well, because you're at the bottom, so it's going to do that. Okay, so there you go. I can only go Franco.
Patronizing
I can only
husband? Anyone? Anyone? Patronizing husband? Go ahead. It was the tone, dear. Mm-hmm.
I love you.
Mm-hmm.
So, Ken, we'll go to Ken first. Ken, what about my trip to the Netherlands in September? It's way too early to know anything. We can, I mean, hopefully things will be at least maybe have treatments and stuff like that by then. I mean, because eventually they're going to open up stuff again because they're going to open up stuff again. They're going to say, you know what, the economy needs to work. We need to start doing stuff. So September's so far off, I wouldn't worry about it quite yet. I mean, I would start like when you get to July and that stuff are still then think about it then because we have trips May, June, July, August, September, October, November, and the only ones I'm worried about right now are May, June, and July. August, I'm already like, we'll see. But I mean, you just gotta have to take some more time. Let's see.
Franco's got a great question, and I can already tell you the answers. I can go only to Munich or Berlin. Where would you choose?
Well, you already know the answer.
I think Mark would choose Munich, and I would choose Berlin. Yes? No?
I would have gone. Well, if they only have a weekend. You're younger, I would say Berlin is probably better for the museums and stuff to see, and it's in one city, you see a bunch of stuff.
And great nightlife.
Yeah, and you can't go wrong with either of them. If you have more time, let's say you've got 5 days, I would do the Munich one because then you can throw like a day trip to Regensburg or Salzburg or something in there with all the other things to do. Berlin's just a much bigger city than Munich, so yeah, I would go that way. But if you want to feel more of like a Germanic feel, then you want to do Munich. Because that has, if you're from the U.S., that's what we always kind of imagine Germany to be, whereas Berlin's a very international city. It's like you go to New York City to see New York City. You don't go to New York to see America because it's New York City. Berlin, you go see Berlin because it's not super, I mean, it's Germany, but it's not super German, what people think of as a stereotypical kind of way. So, Brian Boyd, can I just say a big thank you out to Mark and Jocelyn? Oh, I saw you stayed. Thanks, buddy. I saw that you stayed online for 2.5 hours on Wednesday. We are so lucky to have you two as guides to the world. I'm glad we could do it. We probably would have stayed on longer. I still had some more whiskey, but people were getting tired.
I was getting tired.
So,
Harley, since this virus in the U.S. being the most hit country, we have canceled our summer trip to Canada and the West Coast. Do you think by July it will be safe to travel in the U.S.?
No one can really say. To be honest, I mean, if you look, I mean, people tell you look at the statistical models. If you have the peaks and stuff like that, it really depends. I couldn't say with any confidence. Just like though the doctors can't say with any confidence. I'm sorry. Let's see. Yeah.
Rockin' and rollin'. So I traveled all the way to Germany, and now I'm trapped and couldn't go back to Argentina if I wanted.
You mean you can't have good steaks? That's horrible. I miss those.
But you get good beer. You traded good steak for good beer.
Exactly, and the beer stays longer, so you can like stack it up in the house. You know, if you need a big fridge to keep all those steaks cool.
We're gonna help you find a bright side, dear.
So think the bright side. You can learn all kinds of. You go to Herr Antrim on Learn German with Herr Antrim on YouTube and learn German and meet some people like through your like the balconies and stuff like that. So there is that. Oh, Jennifer! Hey, Jennifer. My husband's birthday is in May. I was wanting to go to make it special, then we got hit with this stupid bug. I agree. How can I make it special stuck in a house with two mental kids? I think this is one thing we've kind of done. It's like we give each other a little space. Like it's kind of come like the basement, that's the kids' room. You know, Jocelyn's got like the living room, couch area. I'm staying in my office. And then like upstairs is kind of like,
we all have, that's where our bedrooms are.
Yeah, so they're kind of not getting used really right now. But I think if you can make sure by May you guys have kind of like spread each other out, kind of got in a routine. Then it's kind of like, kids, you know what? Tonight you guys go watch a movie upstairs, and then you two just have a dinner together, just the two of you. It's like, kids, we got the Domino's no touch delivery for you. We've got the stuff. You go upstairs, eat your pizza in your room, watch a movie. You know, we're just gonna have a time together, because that's one thing is. A lot of families, though we're spending tons of time together, it's like you're spending almost too much time together because you need a break sometimes, and you're not having those romantic things. Like I remember when we were buying our. See, she loves me so much. Oh, thank you for putting clothes on, Liam. Liam's walking down the step, putting on his pajamas because he's like, yeah, no underwear shots, buddy. Oh, did you come down? Because the dog's farting in our bedroom because we put him up there. Because the dog sees people go by, or dogs go by, he just goes crazy.
It was just.
Everybody say hi to Brig. Hi, Brig.
So, are you gonna play video games on there, Liam? Okay. Liam just stole my phone, so I can't look up the questions that people had sent me, but we'll get to them eventually. It's okay. You go have fun.
I thought it was on your computer.
No, it's on my computer, but I was getting other questions from the other stuff, but it's fine. Let's see. Hey, Mark, that is a cool t-shirt. Thank you very much. Jocelyn from a Scott who was looking forward to Boston, now snookered. Expedia have emailed me a refund. Cost of part of the package. The flights is a separate matter. Well, I'm glad you're getting at least something there. That's the thing that's tough. Hi, Brig. I know he's spoiled rotten now. With the flights, you probably have to go directly through the airline. That's one of the things. Like when you buy through Expedia, you can actually get some good deals with packages. But then the thing is, you're going through a third party. So then the hotels and the airlines are like, well, you got to go through them. And then Expedia is probably like, oh, well, there's some issues with that. And then you're kind of stuck in the long game there. So that kind of sucks. I'm sorry, man. Jovian, hey, good to see you from the Netherlands.
Scott, it's the Silver Surfer. Somebody asked if we watch YouTube, and if we do, what channel? Oh, it's your buddy.
Oh, I see.
No,
doesn't listen to me.
Mama.
So Liam and I will watch SciShow Space, and Eons from PBS Digital Studios. So we do a lot of like the educational stuff there. For fun, I'll watch SEC Shorts and It's a Southern Thing.
It's a Southern Thing.
They're pretty funny.
Watch that.
And then like I'll look PBS Space Time. I like that one. I'll watch occasionally. I'll watch like some radio podcast kind of things on there because I go through YouTube and stuff podcasting usually. So that's what I watch.
I watch random art things. Sometimes I'll just like sit for like 15 minutes and watch people do paint pouring. And there's nobody in particular that I watch. It's just like paint pouring chills me out.
Yeah. So, Mr. Blonde, have you ever been to the Pacific Island nations like Micronesia? No, we haven't. That was part of our plan for next year in the summer when we had 3 months to travel and really get a lot of different places like Australia, New Zealand, and going up to there and going through the South Pacific. Now everything's kind of up in the air, so we'll see when we can get there. Excuse me. Wow, Sue. Tanya Collier. Australia Queensland just closed its border, so you can't even get back to New South Wales. That's pretty. That's one thing I've always wondered. Like when states in the U.S. close them too, because that's why I keep telling people it's like don't travel. I mean, you're like, well, I'll go drive and see it. I'm like, no, because in case that does happen, you might get stuck. I know one of our neighbors here. They had one of their kids had a birthday last week, and usually their relatives only stay like a couple days, and it's now 2 weeks that their cars are still there, and I'm like. I wonder if it's because we're locked out or we're in shelter in place and where they're going is shelter in place too. So I don't know. So thank you. He is a beautiful doggy. 030 has 2 German Shepherds. Love them to death. But they do complicate travel. We've been lucky with Brig. He's got last summer, my cousin came and stayed here with him. So he had a doggy sitter that lived at home with him. Though my cousin Caleb, he was mowing grass at a local golf club, and so he had to be there to mow at 5. So he'd get up at like 4:30 and play with the dog at 4:30 till about almost 5. And so when he left, the dog was trained to get up at 4:30. So for the entire fall, Brig is like poking me in the back with his nose at like 4:30. Let's go play. I'm like, no, dude. No, like you get up like 6:30, not 4:30. So Brig and I had to have a heart-to-heart a few mornings about his waking up schedule. So there is that. Hey, Maya's Den. Hope you're doing well.
Come.
Gallivanting Gals. We watch old Walter's World videos when they're there. Thank you, ladies. We appreciate it. Let's see. I'm just kind of scrolling back through to see because we a bunch went by, and so I'm trying to find some questions here that are a little bit easier. Let's see. Marie McKinnis, hey, hi guys. I just came back home from a glorious and sunny day in Sweden. I feel my town is in a bubble. It seems to go on pretty much as usual. We're just to brace ourselves for next week. Yeah, I think that's where a lot of people are, because this is how this thing happened. It was just so quick. How when it comes, because it's so viral, it goes out so quickly. Like, because people, I mean, we had friends who went on spring break. Week before we were supposed to go on spring break, we're like, well, maybe we'll think. I mean, and then all of a sudden, I'm like, no. Like, this is going way too fast, way too long. And you're like, wow. Yeah, so you never know how fast it comes up. And that's the thing is, like, 1 week you might have 2 cases, then it's 30 cases, and it's 3,000. And it's really, really, really a scary thing. So that's why you got to be careful. Just be, but don't, I mean, as we say, be prudent, don't panic. Have your stuff ready, you'll be okay. Let's see. Jimmy UK, why is Chicago called the Windy City? Well, a lot of people think it's because it's windy, because it is super windy there from the lake effects and the wind that way, but it's actually from the politicians, because they always talk and the wind from their mouths, blah, blah, blah.
Lots of hot air.
Lots of hot air blowing out of Chicago. So there is that. Johnny Charlie, you can't go wrong visiting tropical countries in the winter. That is true.
Except for some have rainy season in the winter. And that's what you have to avoid.
December in Buenos Aires was a little tough. But in general, I would agree. Like, we try to do, like, our February trip, we've gone to February and March. Last few years, we've done Nicaragua, Costa Rica, Belize, Guatemala, El Salvador, Jamaica. We were going to do Cayman Islands. We've done Florida, Georgia, and like those kind of things. Arizona. We did Arizona. We did Florida, New Orleans, Alabama. So we try to keep it the warmer spots at those times, just to kind of get out of the cold drudgery.
We really need it here too, because I mean, if you see my Instagram, I have a picture of the fog the other morning, and about how, like, for much of the year, once the crops come down, everything's just beige and gray for ages. Nige asks if we've ever been to Sedona. So yes, I lived in Arizona as a kid for many years, and we went up to Sedona all the time. So different. We went back 4 or 5 years ago, and it is significantly different from when I was a kid. Sedona, the town, was just like this little tiny village, and now it's like urban sprawl almost. But
still beautiful
Canyon
outside.
is wowzer. Obviously that glory hasn't changed.
Yeah. Goomer Zambrano, wow, you live stream early. Well, we figure Saturday morning, this is when people are laying in bed. They not, what else am I going to do in the morning? It's usually a relaxing day, and now that we have Zoom meetings all week, it's like, I just want to lay in bed and watch something else on the screen,
and not have to
like
participate
put
with
on,
my
not
brain.
have to put on, pants. I have shorts on.
I have pants.
Yeah, my work sent out an email to the staff, and they're like, make sure you're staying professional in Zoom meetings, and it actually says, like, wear pants.
Don't use the toilet while you're in a meeting.
Mm-hmm.
So we also have to do this at this time, because we don't have to, but we want to include people in other time zones. And so, like, our Wednesday night at 8 p.m. is kind of
like
bad for people in Europe, right?
It's like 2 a.m. But then our Australian friends can watch that one in their afternoon.
Yeah.
But then, like, this one now, for our buddies in Australia, it might be, late night, later in the evening, so they can get on. So we like to have it at different times. That's why we made sure we did it a morning and an evening one, just to try to get as many people in there as possible. Because we know that everyone's suffering now, and so if we can be that ray of sunshine in somebody's life, I'm glad we can do it. And though we're only drinking tea tonight, I will tell you, the Wednesday whiskey.
Whiskey
Wednesday, yeah.
We should do like Whiskey Wednesday or Wine Wednesday or something like that.
Yeah, sure. Why not? Let's do that. Yes, for the fans. We'll do that.
I have to do an extra workout on Wednesday too.
Hey, Francis. So, Mario Sunshine Fan, have you guys any plans for making Cuba travel videos in the future? I visited Havana a few years ago and really recommend it. People are really friendly and the beach is the best. So we were planning on going there, was it last year?
No, it was during Obama's administration, because Obama changed a bunch of rules.
So we could go, and then the rules changed later on. So we have the books, we have the stuff. We actually were looking at different ones to go through, and a lot of agencies that we were supposed to go through, they're like, no, we won't let you take kids. You have to be like 15 or up or 18 or up or something like that. And I'm like, we can't. I'm not going to go if I can't take the kids, and so that pushed that back, and then they changed the rules again. So it's kind of gotten pushed back on the back burner. I think that's why we ended up like in Jamaica last year, and we're going to Cayman Islands this year. But Cuba is on the list, Mario, so we'd definitely be going there.
Jennifer Ralph, we've been given until the end of May to decide if we need to postpone our EF tour to Greece and Italy. Fingers crossed, it's in July. Well,
at least you have until the end of May, because I think by then we'll have a better idea of how things are going. Like, because if it's still getting worse in May, like that's a whole different thing. But if we see like the peaks have come and it's starting to get like less bad, because I'm not going to say it's going to get better, but less bad. I mean, then you start to see some other stuff.
Yep.
Oh, there's a super chat about Savannah.
Chat about Savannah. Thank you, Mark.
Thank you. So for you, I know you when you see Jennifer Gibbons.
Sorry, Jennifer.
So you see like yours up there that has that thing. So what we see, we don't have that. So we don't see like the super chat thing popping up all the time. So we're sorry, Jennifer. So Jennifer Gibbons writes, "Hi and thank you. Any tips for Savannah, Georgia? I really hope you would have some. My son plans to attend the Savannah College of Art and Design, and I'll be bringing his younger siblings to visit occasionally. You'll be visiting more than occasionally. It's gorgeous there.
You'll love it.
But I love Jocelyn. Look at her just shining.
I do.
It's like she's pregnant.
So Jennifer,
she's glowing.
I went to SCAD also. My background is historic preservation and architectural history. But I love Savannah, and you're gonna find amazing things. What I will say is that there's some really great places for you to stay. They're great hotels and things like that, but there are also some really great Airbnbs. What's that? Something Alfred. You know what I'm talking about? Where you can rent apartments. They have apartments. There is this great building. It's a mid-century modern building in the middle of town. It's called the Drayton, I think. Is that right?
Oh, yeah, there's that one.
Drayton Hall. Is that it? Anyway, or it's on... No, because it's on...
Are you talking about the one that we stayed at?
Drayton, so it must be Drayton Apartments or something. Anyway, no, we didn't stay at that. And Stay Alfred is the name of the company, and they run a bunch of apartments in there. So you can always find like really great apartment rentals, and there are great hotels too, all over downtown if you don't want to do an apartment. But Savannah is a very walkable city. If you're going to drive in Savannah, you need to learn how to do the squares, because when you enter a square on the main road, you go around the other streets coming on and off. They have to yield to you. So when you're one of those, please yield to the people going around. It's kind of actually like a roundabout. Maybe that's why roundabouts are so easy for me. If you have young kids, Oatland Island is a really great place. There is the Turtle Sanctuary, what the University of Georgia runs down. I think it's on Skidaway Island. There are tons of house museums and things like that. Tybie's wonderful. The Tybee Lighthouse is really great. That's fun. Kids like to do that, and it's a quick like little thing to get them off the beach. If you have any very specific questions about restaurants and things like that, I'm happy to give them to you. Just DM me on Instagram. My Instagram thing's down there, so we can talk about that. But good luck, and good luck paying for SCAD because I just finished with that, didn't we? Yeah. Like a year ago.
So it just seems like we have about 700 comments that went by that we did not get to, so I'm apologizing for that. So our friend in Finland, just want to say, I hope you're doing okay up there. Tanya, Australia's still tough to get some toilet paper. Hopefully they'll be able to help with those things. One thing I should say, people, don't throw your wipes down the toilet. Even though it says flushable wipes, they're not really great for the pipes, so that can cause some problems. So you don't want to have that issue happening when you are there. Babs in New York, good to say hi.
There's a new Tarantino movie out? That's what Francis says.
Yeah, in Hollywood, or yeah, something like that. Won an Oscar for, I think Brad Pitt got an Oscar for it. Let's see. Off the Beaten Path Adventures. Can you do a Professor Walters video on the long-term ramifications of the coronavirus and on one that can marketers do to get customers? I do have some on getting customers just in general. I will definitely have some coronavirus things coming up. Right now I'm filming a bunch of stuff for my classes because I have to do all my classes online. And since I have like really big classes, this Zoom thing isn't really helpful for 350 people. So we're doing a lot of just like YouTube kind of stuff. So I'm doing
Andreas Kalispera. What will happen with the flights that have been canceled? Will there be a refund? I have booked a trip to Tokyo with Emirates. So you need to contact Emirates. That's the only thing we can tell you. I know Emirates went down to almost cargo only. They, in comparison to what they had been, they've cut out a lot of their passenger stuff. So you need to contact them and wait. I know they just made that announcement this week, so you may want to wait a few days or closer to your trip to contact them.
So somebody had a good idea here. Zambuca Saturday. I like that. Zambuca Saturday. Jordan Sereski, did you ever go to Rundale Palace in Latvia on the border of Lithuania? It's huge and awesome. So I did go by it, but it was closed the day I went when I was driving through there. But that was like, that was probably 15 years ago. So I haven't been by there in a while.
Somebody was starting a Harry Potter marathon. So we started that last night. And we actually started with Fantastic Beasts. So we're watching chronologically. Partially because I couldn't find our Sorcerer's Stone, and
we have we have those from before.
Probably two of those.
Yeah.
You have one and I have one.
Yeah, because we had it from before we
were
dated.
married.
Yeah. So, Harley, we're glad we can answer your questions. Brian, I have not been to that steakhouse in Chicago. Excuse me. Let's see. Babs was saying a lot of balcony music is coming out of Italy. Yeah.
You know what? My friend AJ, he is a DJ, and he just posted a thing where he pulled his set out in the garage and got his whole neighborhood out dancing and stuff. It was really great.
Okay, so Jane Paul has a good question. Hey guys, I have a trip to UK Dublin booked for end of June from Montreal. Not very optimistic. Would it make sense to get cancellation insurance? Not sure about specific clauses about going on ongoing pandemics. This is actually something with the podcast I was on with Hawkeye. So if you get the typical travel insurance when you buy your tickets, they do not cover pandemics. You have to get the no fault cancellation. Just it could be I got a hangnail and I don't want to go. Like you have to get that insurance because then it's like okay, and then you pay more for that. But there are those options. I'm wondering how that's going now with the insurance with companies. If premiums have gone up high because a lot of people are canceling and stuff like that. So it is interesting.
So Kim asks, how are your parents holding up? So
I'm calling my mom almost every day just to keep her sane from my dad.
Me too. I'm talking to my mom every day. My dad and his wife were out in Arizona visiting his brother-in-law and stuff, and they kind of all got stuck together. So but fortunately, they're not just in-laws and siblings and whatnot. They're all really good friends. So they're having a good old time. Like, they're just doing their thing. So, although they're stuck in one house, they're doing okay.
Yeah. So, means to travel. Everyone we meet from Europe who's here visiting Chicago always expresses pleasant surprise about how great it is. Maybe it's an underrated U.S. city. I agree. Everyone's like, man, I really like Chicago. I really like Chicago. I'm like, I know, it's really cool. But, it's kind of like if you're not on the coast, people don't care. And then they come in like, oh, wow, it's really nice. Like Kansas City, a fantastic city to visit. But Chicago is like a world-class city to visit. Like, I highly recommend it. I put it on all my lists of like what to see in the U.S. Yeah, top-notch museums, great food, lots of options, easy to get around. Terrible parking, but at least public transport takes you where you really want to go. So there is that. So Gallivanting Gals had a motorhome.
Gals had a motorhome.
They're only over like 2 hours away. Go ahead and go travel with them.
But they said had, so I'm guessing they don't have.
Maybe they upgraded to a 50-foot motorhome. Maybe
no such thing, you big dummy. That's called a semi.
Whatever. So there's that. Scott, I think this is a good question. Hi, Walters family. When I started traveling, I felt like I learned more about myself. Did you feel the same? If so, what did you learn? I think. Oh, you want to go start?
No, go ahead.
So for me, I started doing this traveling when I was in high school. And it was very much a learning experience of like being on your own and how do you deal with the loneliness and how do you deal with homesickness and how do you deal with, not everybody's looking out for yourself. So when I was in high school, it helped me kind of prepare for college better because I was like, I'm on my own, self-reliant kind of stuff. As I've traveled more and more, it's really helped me it keeps my eyes open to see all the different cultures that are out there. Like where I teach, we have a large number of Chinese students. And having taught in China, it really gave me a new perspective of the kind of pressure that my Chinese students are under, because the U.S. kids that are in my classes, they might have 2 or 3 brothers and sisters, and their parents got some kids, some uncle, aunts, got aunts, uncles, all this kind of stuff. So everybody's kind of working together and working apart and stuff like that. Whereas in China, the one-child policy, you have one kid and they have their 2 parents, and then their grandparents only have 1 kid each. So you have like the kind of golden child thing. And it's not just a golden child. I know we always show and I'll get to that, but it's like a lot of times people think they just get spoiled and all this kind of things, but also it's the other side. The pressure that those kids are under, those students are under, is like, look, you will be supporting mom and dad and 4 grandparents and maybe great grandparents. So make sure you succeed. I mean, and a lot of 20-year-olds, like other things, like I want to go out and party, and they're like, I have to make sure I do a great job, because if I don't, I won't be able to support my family. So it really opened my eyes to like, look, there's a lot of different situations that people are in. So that's why you never look at somebody. It's like, we'll see people like flying on the highway. We're like, maybe they got to poop. Like you got to think there could be other things out there. So that's what's really helped me learn to have an open mind to a lot of different situations out there and give people a little bit of grace and understanding.
Well, that's it. And that, people are beautiful everywhere. We all want the same things. Like emotions and needs are so universal. But so that coupled with the open-mindedness, just to see more, different perspectives is a huge thing.
Yeah.
Yep.
So Jennifer Ralph, I think this is a question for all parents. Are your kids getting along? My 3 girls are constantly fighting. So we had
yes
some...
and no.
Yeah, not more than usual, I think, because we sat down with the boys last week and explained how serious this was, and they're 13 and 8. And though they each had like some upset moments, like they're like, we understand why this is important, because we explained, like, because our friends from Italy are sending us pictures here. I mean, our friend Elena was going out yesterday to go shopping, and she had the N95 mask on and the things, and they're like, God help us.
They have to.
They have to.
I think it's actually required.
Yeah, to go out.
To go out, that you have a mask and you have gloves.
Yeah. And so like they're like, okay, and like you have friends that can't see their grandparents. So they're getting it, and so I'm really surprised. Now, when we had that one nice day where we got to go out, we did a family walk, and like everything was dry, and so the kids were like wrestling while we were walking, like just being
in people's yard.
But it was like WWE, so it wasn't really real fighting. It was like fake fighting.
Playing.
Yeah, so
there
is that.
Fun. But Liam he broke his knee joint.
Yeah.
And Faye cried all the way home. It was so much fun.
Yeah, it was pretty fun. So yeah.
But they're getting along for the most part. There is the nitpicking, and there will be a moment, like every day there's one moment where Liam annoys Caleb and Caleb just blows up. Caleb is 13-year-old. That's just the way it's going to be. I mean, I think they're doing better than expected, and I think part of that is because we, spending with the kids, we're probably on the road at least 3.5 months a year. I think with the kids, we've got to be like 14, maybe even 16 weeks a year with the children. So we're used to it being just the 4 of us very often. So I think that helps them cope. They're used to being one another's only playmate, So
in that way, I think they are better prepared for this kind of quarantine than some of our friends who are having a tougher time. So Francis Burnett, this is a really nice compliment. Mark, will Mark ever do a lecture on the great courses? I have the streaming service and have probably seen all the history ones that cover pre-Renaissance. Would love more knowledge. So Francis, you can go to our Professor Walters channel and watch me teaching marketing and business stuff and how to run a YouTube channel. I have that there. I would love to do things like that. I don't know how people get into those things and how people get into speaking things. Yes, sir, go ahead.
Great Courses has a very... Go ahead.
No,
Sorry.
go on.
Well, they have a very rigorous thing, and they want professors that have won all the awards. You have won all the awards.
Well, the teaching awards that matter to students.
All the.
I was actually voted the most impactful professor at the University of Illinois in 2018
for the campus.
For the whole campus, and in my college for a few years in a row. Not that work ever says anything about it, but whatever. I'm not bitter. So hopefully, Francis, send him a thing saying hi, Professor Walters, and I would glad to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wait, we jumped around. There's a super chat on here. Oh, it all went blank on us.
Oh, weird.
Drone Journey. Say thank you. I'm now unsubbing. You never say thank you. How do I never say thank you?
To whom do we not say thank you?
I don't know.
Well, Drone, I'm sorry. Thank you for the super chat.
You paid to unsub. And here's the thing is, everyone's always free to say, they can sub and come and go all they want. Things like Drone Journey and things like that are very negative. I mean, you're obviously doing things to make yourself be seen. So that's not really nice. But you know what? We try to say thank you as much as we can to people, and we're trying to help out people all that we can do. And this is one of the things you have to look at in terms of like online content is you will have trolls, you will have people that will come in and say things like that and be like, and by the way, your super chat, your money's been refunded, I believe, because I banned you from the channel. Is you never know who's going to get on, and that's why they do have the passwords, because people do get on and try to just be jerks and stuff like that. And that's why I really appreciate people like Mark and Michael Mann and Mark Finley on here that are moderators who knock off people that are harassing and stuff like that. And I do want to apologize because on the YouTube channel there will be people that'll be trolls, and there will be people that just on purpose will be total jerks about stuff.
And not just to us,
but to other people. And we don't get all the comments. Like I can't see everything on there because we get, there's tens of thousands of comments a month on there, and I'll get like 3 notifications of what's going on. So I do apologize if these things do happen to you. But
we try to keep life positive and happy
and
here.
That's what we do. And a lot of people get upset with us because we're like, you're always too much in the good mood. Like, no, we talk the good and the bad, but why be negative? And so people like Drone Journey, congratulations, you had your 5 minutes of fame. So moving on.
Jennifer asks, where is a good location for a cheeky girls trip?
In the U.S.?
In the U.S. Well,
Nashville's a big one now.
Nashville's a big one.
New Orleans is always good.
Savannah can be, and that's probably because I've been there so much. New York is always on the list, right? And I'm sure LA, but she's from Scotland, so Amsterdam, Paris.
Yeah, I wouldn't do Prague or Krakow for a women's trip because you have a lot of guys that go there for their stag nights or and so it gets a little bit.
Yeah, I feel like Paris and Amsterdam would be really great ones, and actually some of the little towns outside of Amsterdam have some really great fun, nightlife and things like that too. And I think Berlin's always a great place to do kind of cheeky things.
Yeah, because Berlin's really open to the cheekiness. So is Amsterdam, stuff like that. Joe Bone, Turkey is very good. People, good food. Yes, it is. And Turkey was part of it's still part of our trip for our May-June stuff, but I'm going to guess that's going to get nixed. So, but we'll get there eventually. Peter Eves, when is the podcast coming? So with the pandemic and my real job, my full-time job, switching everything to online, my entire life has been turned to filming business videos. So I have about, I don't know.
And now he's decided to put out three videos a week for Walter's World.
So the podcast has been pushed back a little bit. It's still coming. I've got the stuff now. We've got the microphones. We got the headsets. We got the hardware ready to go. We figured out where we're going to do it, and when we record it, we'll record it with us sitting together. And so there'll be like a video version of it too. So you can watch the podcast, or you can just listen to it online. So we're getting the stuff done. We're putting together ideas for the stuff. So like we're working through the process, but just because there's so many other things going on right now, that's why it's kind of got pushed back. Russia, how you doing? Stephen Briggs, we're doing okay. Hey, Michael and Bella's Travel Channel. Ooh, wait, jumped around. And so for those of you that are getting questions and kind of things, I'm sorry because what you see here is different from what we see. So we're just kind of jumping around quite a bit.
Diane says, don't apologize for the negative people because we have enough negativity. Well, that's the truth, right?
Yeah.
All right.
And thank you, Heather, for joining.
That's kind of you.
They say thank you. We appreciate it. And that's one thing we really love about our fellow travelers on here is the community we have. We try to help people out. That's why you see a lot of people are answering other people's questions. So if you want to reply to somebody, what you do is you put @ and then they start spilling out their name, and you can click on their name, and then it lets them know that someone's writing to you. So you have that. So there are things there. Hunter Have, best U.S. cities for seniors. I think if you're going the southeast of the U.S. and the southwest of the U.S., those are the best ones for seniors, for weather, for options, for discounts, for infrastructure set up for them.
It's already set up that way. We've been, there were snowbirds when I was a kid in Arizona. I mean, it's been that way for decades. So they're ready.
So Dizzy Lizard, two things. One, last night on Traveling Robert's live feed, someone was calling him on his phone and trolling him during the live feed. It was creepy. Yeah.
How they get his phone number?
Well, because Instagram gives your numbers out to random people. Because I'll get random
What?
things. Oh yeah, because if you have a business thing, they make you do that. And so you don't have it. You don't have yours.
No, I don't have.
So I get random things on my WhatsApp from people like wanting money and to marry them and to help them go to a country and all kind of threatening stuff, whatever. I'm like, ban. Because that's one of the things that's bad about this is that you do have. I mean, it's not just trolls that are online. Some people will go take it too far. My mom does. She has a Facebook channel and she just gives out dress advice and image consulting advice for mature women, right? And so one person wrote her a unsigned letter in the mail, you should be donating your money to this and not doing this, you piece of shit. And I'm like, pardon my language, but my mom was I don't know, 65, 70 at the time. And I'm like, what the hell? I mean, there are weirdos out there. And that's why some people have asked us, when are you going to do a meetup and stuff like that? Well, we don't do meet.
Things like that.
Things like that. That's why we don't do those, especially with the kids. We'll for example, Francis, or for example, I'm looking to go to Texas, and of course I'm going to go see my Texas buddies Mark and Terry when we're down by Dallas and go eat some barbecue down there with them. And if we're ever by Michael Mott and our buddy, and Tosh T and stuff we'll have individual stuff like Scott Neal in Edinburgh, or we'll meet up and things like that. But there's just a lot of, like you said, weird people.
Yep. Okay. So there was something up top just a minute ago that I think Michael actually had posted, and I didn't get a chance to see it because it zipped by. I don't know. A bunch
Marcus
just
the Award
flew.
King, thanks. Yeah, sorry. There's just
All right.
see, because again, we're getting the jump arounds, and then what Mark so it'll jump, and then all of your comments disappear, and then they repopulate for us. And what you see here, it's too small for us to see it on our screen. So. Because YouTube isn't made for people over 20's eyes, so it's not even over 50 or 40 or 30. It's over 20. There's a super chat. Kate, if we missed your super chat from before, sorry. Thank you very much for the super chat. Where did you study preservation? Do you use it now? So
I studied preservation at the Savannah College of Art and Design in Savannah, Georgia. SCAD has campuses in Atlanta. Hong Kong, and there's one somewhere in France, and I forgot where. But anyway, do I use it now? Nope. There isn't a lot of preservation where we live. I have been on the
She was on a number of boards and stuff.
Yeah, I was on the board of a local children's museum because
and the preservation thing.
Yeah, it's a historic. It's an Orpheum building. An Orpheum, if you know anything about them, they're theaters. Anyway, and then I was on the board for the local Preservation and Conservation Society, but there just isn't a lot of preservation in this town. And the Midwest is sort of slow on that, and we always sort of have been when it comes to doing it on a big scale. So there's just not a lot for me. Also, as much as we travel, nobody's gonna hire me. I mean, let's just be honest. No normal job is going to say, oh yeah, let's have this chick who is gone 5 months out of the year. It's silly.
And we did think about having you do some historic preservation stuff on.
I'm kind of hesitant to do it, but it wouldn't be a bad thing every now and then.
She's too humble. She's like, I'm not a PhD in preservation and this kind of stuff. It's okay. It's the internet. You know your stuff. It's all right. So if you think Jocelyn should start putting up some stuff.
There's a Jocelyn Art Museum? Shut up.
There you
Where's
go.
that?
I don't know. Is Drones Anonymous? Yeah, that's when you can tell that.
It's in Omaha. We're going to Omaha, dude.
There you go. I got some friends down there. My mom lived kind of down by there too. Yeah, so apparently the drone person came back. Thank you, Mark, for I'm sure they'll be back again. That's when you can tell they're real professional trollers, when they have multiple accounts that they can get banned from.
We're just gonna leave him alone. Let's ignore the fact that he.
Well, we can do that. And what's interesting is if they have attacks that they keep doing these things on, people report them. Then Google's not probably doing it now because they got too many things, but they can get their IP tracked back, and they're actually, if they have anything like ad revenue or stuff like that, they can. Get that all taken away. So, Ivan Abad, Mark, are you an action figure collector? No, my children are.
No, come on. Well, you don't collect them, but
I
Mark
collect
does
them.
play with them.
Well, yeah, they need somebody to play with, my kids and stuff like that. So it works out that way.
Okay. Do you think Europe should embrace modern architecture or preserve the old? Sure, it looks nice, but I can't live in a Gothic church. Serious housing shortages. You can live in a Gothic church. Why can't you?
Scotland,
People
they
do
have
it
done
all
that.
over the place. You have to look at a building. First of all, the greenest building ever built is one that's already built. So from an environmental standpoint, yes, always reuse. Adaptive reuse is a brilliant thing, and oftentimes it's just a better thing for us as a whole. But why tear down something that is literally tangible history?
Yeah.
And just use it in a different way. It's very possible.
So Nader, if Mark works for the University of Florida, I see Gainesville hiring a historic preservation planner. Jocelyn's a big University of Georgia fan, so I
Nader,
remember we were doing an
shut up.
we were doing an SEC tour of universities because when I started teaching at the University of Illinois, I was just a visiting professor, so it was like a 2-year thing. So we were looking at other universities, so like where would we want to go to? And so we were on vacation. We're doing like one of those southern tours, and so we're driving by Gainesville. So we've done University of Georgia, Tennessee, we've done Alabama, Auburn, and we're going down to go see your aunt in Tampa, and we're like, oh, we're going through Gainesville. She's like, no. You could I could only get gas on the highway.
I said we're not even going into town. There is none of that gator stuff happening anywhere around us. That's just not okay.
So Cherry McLaren Robertson, how about a video on how to prepare your home for when you're gone for 3 months? We have a couple videos on preparing your house before you go. They're more for shorter terms, like month and less.
But a lot of it still applies.
A lot of it still applies. So we do have those things. I would say just some off things, because 3 months you can't hold your mail that long. You can only hold your mail for 1 month at a time, at least in the U.S.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you have to do a forwarding service. You have to pay for it. So what I usually recommend is what we do is like I would have it hold for the first month, and then I'd have a week where if my friends were there, I'd be like, hey, could you go pick it up? They'll pick it up for a week, and then I'll hold it for another month. So I'm not putting my friends out. If you do that, make sure you get the notified mail. So like the postal service actually sends me a thing saying what mail I'm getting that day, a picture of it. So if you know people are taking your mail, or if your mail carrier forgets something or something like that, you have those things you can check out. Also, it's good if you're waiting for a check or a bill to come and you need to have someone help you pay that. There's a lot of things you can do.
But Sherry, Sherry, you're just not reading her name. You're not thinking about who she is. But anyway, Sherry, you could, because I know where you are. I would look at your church or look at some university students or, people who maybe need a place to stay for the summer, that, they're in between rentals and things like that. We've several times we've had friends or students or whatever stay and take care of our house while we're gone. So having a house sitter, that's our preference for the summer, and that's usually what we end up doing. We have an extra in because Mark has students that maybe have graduated and
they need a place to stay,
and we know them and trust them, so they've been on trips or whatever with us, so that's usually where we get it. But I think you could draw on that, and also church people and school people.
Kate, thank you very much for the super chat. We try not to talk politics on here, but yes, let's hope we can get some more green initiatives out there to help buildings and help towns become more sustainable, because that's one thing we all really need to do. Famous Tot, favorite European soccer team. Vicenza Calcio. Hello. We're all for Vicenza. Period.
Benfica? Well,
no. Vicenza won.
But Benfica.
Then we got Benfica. And then it's Atlanta.
Atlanta.
Caleb likes Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
And then we he used to wear a lot of Roma stuff. So we have that. Let's see. Okay, Eric Zvart, in the Walters World web shop, are you planning to make some shirts or clothes with separate countries like Walters World shirt from Germany and so on? Or is this a logistical hazard? So Eric, right now, since Illinois is on basically a lockdown, they actually print all of our shirts here in town because we try to help support our local businesses. And so they can't work right now. So we're kind of putting it off. But what we end up doing is, because we'd like to have all those big things on there, like here's a ton of options, but it's not always financially feasible. So we kind of cycle through. So right now there's the Chichen Itza, not chicken pizza one, and we had the Andiamo shirt. And so we will have more options out there. but we can't do them all at one time just because the logistics and the financial side of it, because we got to put out quite a bit of cash.
Yeah, we have
sometimes
to
for it, so.
put out money ahead of time for that, so
Yeah,
it's
so-
a little bit
Because
shifty.
with all the stuff we've sold last year, we made $18 because we had to pay up front for a lot of the stuff to like get everything working, and so that's why we're being a little more careful this year with what we're going to be doing.
But I have
Hey, Boris in Kazakhstan, hope you're doing good.
I've been doing the designs for the sort of travel-y shirts, not just the plain Walters World whatever stuff like the Chichen Itza, the Andiamo. I've got a pile of them, hand drawn. I need to relearn how to use Illustrator, but that's challenging.
You have time. We're in a lockdown. That could be your thing. Like
The thing is, I don't have that much time now that we're in lockdown. And y'all, I swear to you,
we have
I am
10,000 times
more
more
busy.
dishes.
I wash at least 2 sinks full of dishes. We run the dishwasher.
And it's not
once
like
a
no
day.
one else is doing dishes. Like I'm doing dishes, and the boys are now doing dishes.
Well,
but it's just
boys
like-
have taken one of my loads off.
Yeah, I mean, and then in the morning I get up, do dishes, and put the dishes away.
Right.
So it's
And then I do it in the afternoon, and then the boys are doing it at night. But I mean, it is incredible how much more work there is in this house because we're here 24/7.
Yeah.
And you'll hear that if you read my blog, you'll hear it in my voice. There is some frustration with that.
yeah. So Marie loves your wallpaper, babe. She
Oh,
picked
thank you. I love my wallpaper too. I really wanted to get fabric like that, but it was $300 a yard, and I just was like, well, I can't afford 5 inches of that, so we're not doing it.
Jimmy UK. Boo, I support Liverpool. Oh, well, we all have problems, Jimmy. I'm kidding. I remember watching when they came back against Milan, was it? In the Champions League final. I was in Spain at the time with my parents, and I'm like, oh, this is over. Let's go out. And we had a drink, and we came back, and all of a sudden it was like near the end of the second half, end of the second half. And I'm like, oh my God. So we stayed in and watched the rest of it. Daniel Folks, thank you very much for the super chat, my friend. If you have a question, let us know so we can try to answer it. Really appreciate it because these super chats do mean a lot to us. But if you're going to super chat and be harassing, then save your money and why don't you donate it to a charity that can help. But thank you very much, Daniel. It means a lot. Thank you so much. Let's see. Brian Boyd, I've never been to Houston, so I've not been there. I'll have to check it out when we go there. Yeah, Gallivanting Gals. The dishes are crazy right now. They are. Let's see. Okay. Means to travel. Jocelyn, I'm more busy in lockdown too, I think. Crazy times for content creators. It is crazy because, I mean, I know for example, our travel channel, Walters World actually had negative subscribers this week. The first time ever. We were down 1,000 subscribers overall, and our views are way down. And so, but it's like, you know what? I'm okay with that because there's no reason people should be traveling or thinking about travel right now. So we're not worried about that. But the thing is we started because we still have a few more videos we want to put out about the quarantine and things like that. They'll pop up occasionally, but we want to get back into some normalcy for a lot of people because for a lot of people it is having that video. I don't know, for me it's like it's Monday. Where's my new Eons video that Caleb and I can watch at night or something like that. And so we know that there's a lot of families out there that contact us. Hey, we watch your videos with our kids, and this is our way out. And some people have written me like, look, watching Walters World, that is our history, our geography lesson for our kids for homeschooling. And I'm like, we got to get back on this. So that's why we're getting back in full force, putting out more videos and stuff like that. So yeah, it is actually more crazy now. And especially now, so we're doing the videos and I do the filming of like classes and stuff like that. So it is a lot more busy. It's not just sitting at home doing nothing, which, though the snacking is tougher, but I think I've eaten all our snacks, so I can get back to losing weight again. Heather W. Walters World Shirts makes great PJs. Yes, Jocelyn does get, like, we test out the shirts, and Jocelyn does get the one that are like the most comfy on you, so that is really nice. So that's all on Jocelyn. That's really nice of her. So I think Tyler, cool guy. Hey Tyler, good to see you again.
Hi.
Is now a good time to buy airplane tickets to fly this summer and fall since prices are almost very cheap?
Almost very cheap.
Yeah, right now, man, I don't know because those tickets are down. Depends where you're going. I look at it this way: if the deal is so good, you don't care if you lose the tickets, then I would get it. I know for me, I saw some. I'm like, even if we have to like postpone or they just give us like a credit at that price, it's okay. But when it's times 4, it gets a little bit not okay. But like for a weekend trip, like a buddy of mine, we're looking at some stuff for end of summer, like for, because I don't teach on Fridays. So it's like, oh, if we left like Thursday night and came back Sunday, I'm like, man, these prices are so good. Even if they said, you know what, we can't do it or we can't go, it's such a good price that way. Then I say it's okay. But you just got to really look at where you're going and stuff like that. It's tough. But if they do have it where you could push the ticket back, do that. But here's the thing: is when they let you push the ticket back, you still have to pay the change, not the change fee. Like they'll let you waive the change fee, but you have to pay the price difference in the ticket. So we bought our tickets for spring break and we pushed them back to later in the year. And they're like, well, now there's $200 more, so we had to actually pay more. So you want to make sure you're looking at those things. Okay, and if you got that great deal, you're going to be paying the extra if you have to switch it.
Mrs. means to travel. Do you guys ever do you ever pack clothes for long trips based on how fast they dry? Yes. And no.
Well,
so a lot of the quick dry clothes have a lot of poly in them, and I
make
find
you sweat in bad places for men.
Sometimes they do. Some are not that way, but I find that poly holds odors a lot more, so they get stinky. And if you're washing things in a sink, that is not awesome. But I find that, like, especially if it's like I need something to dry fast, silk is my favorite thing. I know silk is more expensive, but sometimes you can find really good deals at like TJ Maxx and stuff. It dries really fast. Wrinkles fall out pretty quickly, and it doesn't hold on to smell. And actually silk, and I learned a lot about it when we were in China. The silk actually is one of the best all-weather fabrics because it can layered. It keeps you really warm. They actually use it for comforters, like the silk fibers is like the fluff inside of their comforters in China. So yeah, that would be my long and short, very long answer. Sorry.
Yeah. So
is
there's
that up yet? My packing is my
in
packing?
Europe. Yeah, it's
I
up.
have packing for summer in Europe. If that helps, I mean, because that kind of applies to a lot of things, at least when it comes to those little things. Mark Finley, he has
for dry fit
t-shirts.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Let's see. It's jumping around at us. There's a question. Miss Ria was asking, please explain the Super Chat. I have no idea what it is or how it works. So Super Chat is not available in every single country, but what it is basically if someone like the people that have been super nice and wanted to donate, basically you're donating to the channel to help it keep running. Like last year, we used the Patreon money and the Super Chat money to actually buy a new camera because our camera broke, and so Jocelyn had to pick one. Like we ordered one, threw that money last minute to get it, so we have that. So we use it for things like that.
And this year you got a gimbal.
Yeah, this year we got the gimbal that my buddy Mark Finley on here recommended, and we used that money to get a microphone to go along with it. So when we walk around, you no longer have this. I can maybe, once we figure out how it all works,
it's like a little mini Steadicam.
Yeah, so we can do that. But the thing is, you click the Super Chat button. They ask you your credit card. You say how much you want, and then when you put it in, depending on how much you donate, then your thing will stay up on the top on what people see up on there, and then we eventually see it. I don't know why today it's been really bad with seeing the Super Chats on here, so I hope that helps out.
Francis has a repost. My mother is USPS employee, so just wanted to remember to be kind. You know what? Seriously, all of the people delivering your boxes, delivering your mail, the people driving the trucks, the people who are in supply chain, they are the ones keeping you in toilet paper and, getting all the things to you that you need. I mean, this country would come to a screeching halt if it weren't for all of those people. So
we cheers you.
Thank you. Cheers to you.
Healthcare provider, supply chain, everybody. All those families that are going through this now, staying home with your kids. We know it's tough, but you're doing the right thing to keep everybody safe, keep everybody home, stay home. You're doing the right thing. It's tough. It sucks sometimes, but we got to do what we can to flatten the curve and help our healthcare providers out there. And if you're like hoarding stuff, don't feel ashamed to go say, you know what, I hoarded stuff and I'm going to go donate it. There's a lot of places that are taking things in. So contact your local hospital, see like, hey, I might have extra stuff. Could you use it? So there's other things we can do.
If you are a foodie and travel for the cuisine, what part of Europe should you avoid? Ooh.
Jocelyn would tell you Germany because she doesn't like it.
I don't like German food. I think that the repertoire is there's not enough. It's like pork and apples and potatoes and more pork.
You're now insulting all of Central and Eastern Europe.
But I don't. I find that like when we go to there's
Lithuania has
like,
some good stuff. I think
I just Germany doesn't use much in the way of spices. They have amazing mustards. And I do like a lot of their pork dishes, but like I get bored with it quickly. Whereas I find that like going to Prague, that I find that there's more variety. For me, there's like not enough variety in Germany.
Okay. So Alexa writes, "Hi guys, any recommendations on where to go and where to stay in Costa Rica? Me and my mom were supposed to be there this week. I'm sorry. It is a great place. I like actually staying by Arenal because then you can go to the cloud forest and hike up in those things, do the zip lining. A lot of people end up going to Jaca because it's a really easy trip from the capital. It's very touristy, but if you want to learn how to surf, I recommend going there because the beach there is super calm and super easy to learn how to surf in, and it's not dangerous. Manuel Antonio is really cool for the parks there. The thing is, if you go out to the north, if you fly to Libertad in the north, is it Libertad? Liberia, Liberia in the north. That's where a lot of the like the U.S. and Canadian people have gone to retire. So up there, you don't even hear much Spanish sometimes. So if you want to get more, fly to San Jose and explore around there and go to the coast area, you'll see much more Costa Ricanists versus retirees from North America. Hey, in Columbus, Ohio, Daniel. Oh, there he is, Daniel. Hi from Columbus, Ohio. Thank you all for your information videos. I booked my first trip ever to Europe, Dublin, Ireland. Do you think August too early to travel?
It's too early to tell.
It's too early to tell. Luckily, with the airlines being so understanding with all these kind of things, I think if it's still bad then and they're still doing the cancellations, they're still pushing things back, they'll probably let you rebook for later, to push it back so you can still get that trip maybe later in the year. So there is still time. It's August. I wouldn't worry about it yet till probably you have a better idea in May, early June, what's going on. Because so many people have canceled all their stuff, I don't think it's going to be a tough time finding reservations and things like that. Or if you do book your stuff, make sure it's free cancellations. Because some places like VRBOs and something like that are not giving the money back. So make sure you're using stuff that will give you that option that you have the 30-day or the 5-day
or at least rebook it.
Back. Yeah.
Some may not be able to give you all your money back, but you may get the option to rebook later.
Yeah. Thank you for being a loyal subscriber, Mr. Blonde. Brent Mobley, hey buddy, good to see you on here. I like Nader one. This is better than your travel videos. It's like hanging out with friends that we cannot leave our houses. Yeah, that's the thing is for us too. I don't know for you, babe, but for me, just being able to talk, even though you guys
you're not talking to us,
but you are through the chat. It's nice to have that human interaction, and I love Jocelyn, and Jocelyn loves me. Time for a kiss. We know you're not here, but this is for you.
I do love you, but dang, he's on my nerves.
That was one thing. I put that on Twitter and Facebook yesterday. I'm like, has anybody noticed that their spouses are saying "I love you," but there's a little hesitation before they say that these days?
There was a big pause the other day. Mark was just really just, I love you.
I do love you. What's
I know.
Loving you and wanting to be
I'm trying to cook and clean for 4 people and do all this stuff.
I cook and clean sometimes.
I know. I'm not saying you don't. Just because I said I do doesn't mean that you don't. But then there's this, and I'm like,
well, if you were married to this wonderful woman, wouldn't you want her to know that you love her all the time?
Honey, you're an amazing man. Shut up.
Anyway, moving on.
Oh, he gets on my last nerve.
Okay, Dizzy Lizard's had some really good comments on here during the day. American Airlines is giving out free flight changes if you book before April 15th. They're also letting you make payments of flights.
Ooh.
That's cool. And Americans does a really nice job. I've flown American probably once in the last 15 years. And I've heard nice things lately, like what they're doing. So I got to give them a clap out for that. And all the airlines are really doing a lot. I know when we canceled our stuff with Delta, they were super helpful, super awesome. I think on the 3 last podcasts, because a lot of people have asked us to be on their podcast lately, and so we always do them. And I was giving a shout out to our buddy Mohammed at the Cincinnati, Ohio Delta call center, who was totally awesome.
So if anybody works for Delta, remember that name.
Yeah, Mohammed in the Cincinnati, and he was so helpful.
Gallivanting Gals are they're looking at tickets for the fall and make sure that they're fully refundable. Mm-hmm. So that's great. Refundable tickets are expensive, but they're fully refundable and you don't have any problems. So
and that can be.
It might be worth it.
Because here's the thing is we're looking at because we have all these trips planned for later this year, but we have this wedding that we're supposed to go to in June in Italy, which is probably not going to happen. And so they're looking to reschedule it. I'm like, wait, what do we do? buying the tickets and this kind of stuff, and we already have other things booked. And you're always trying to figure out like how to schedule these. We understand the frustration. Anyway,
Michael Mann, thank you. Michael has been on it. I've seen him have to put a couple people in timeout.
Yeah.
And so thank you. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
I think that
Pause.
because I was reading, because what happens is, thank you Michael and Jennifer and Michael and Mark that are out there like noticing these things, because we can't get all of them. So you got to be careful, and some of them, for some people like that do comment a lot, sometimes you get your stuff deleted or hit or something like that. Sometimes you don't realize it might be certain things. We just kind of try to leave off limits, like politics or anything like that. Let's see.
Okay, so Mashe, hi, how are you? And someone else also was making a comment about visiting cemeteries. So, you know what? I like to wander through cemeteries too. One of my favorites is actually, there are two right next to each other in Savannah. But cemeteries are great for learning some history and just, I don't know, not just genealogy, but just like to think about like the generations of the place that you're in. I like visiting cemeteries too. It's just a quiet, peaceful place. And you know, it used to be that people would picnic and things in cemeteries. It wasn't just like this sort of quiet, sacred place, but it was a place to kind of commune with your ancestors and things like that. And it's pretty amazing. So, Peter Kalispera, hi, I'm from Greece and I'm going to Toronto in July. Will I make it? I don't know that we can answer that question yet. One, every country is probably going to have a different curve, and we'll see what happens. But I think you just need to wait until it's closer and then decide.
Yeah. Hunter Hands, every time you guys have a live, I get motivated to do something productive while watching it. So you're getting productive so you don't watch it?
Listening.
I don't want to be watching. No, I'm just kidding. I'm glad we can help out.
I wish that I were being productive.
We are being productive.
We are.
We're drinking lots and lots of tea. We're helping. We're helping.
Of caffeine.
That's why it's like when we finish these, because we try to keep them about 2 hours and stuff like that. It's like we all are like, okay, I gotta go pee now. It's like who gets the.
Well, and I had to switch to chamomile because that chai tea was gonna make me start, getting a little shaky.
Let's see. Jesse 747-400. I'm guessing you like to travel. Do you have videos on travel gear, like on backpack brands, stuff like that? We use Osprey stuff. I don't think we have a video on our actual things. We can put one together for you though.
So the only thing that has come from Osprey that I don't like is they have a day pack that has and the only reason I don't like it is that the bottle pockets on the outside side pockets, every time you bend over, your water bottle flies out of it, and it's a giant pain in the rear end. I do have a clip thing right there that I can make sure it doesn't fall out. But then when I bend over to tie a kid's shoe or, whatever.
Oh, yeah, you see stuff go, phew!
If I have it locked in, then the bottle still falls out, and it's like swinging right next to my head, and that's a pain in the rear. But that's the reason, part of why we love Ospreys. They make thoughtful, smart products. The other thing is they have a lifetime guarantee. They're not cheap, but they'll replace everything. So there's that.
It's not like it lasts forever. They just replace the stuff. Patty Foreman, I like this one. Can I ask? Yes, you can. Why you Americans have shoes inside the house all the time? I'm from Europe. Okay, so
I got a funny story about that.
Well,
can I say this?
Go ahead. Well, I don't know your story.
So our friends, we tend to not wear shoes in the house very much. In our personal family thing, bringing dirt in and whatever. But we had some friends that he was English, she was Portuguese, and we're Americans, and we would go over. We're living in Portugal, and we would go over, and our kids we'd walk in, and we'd all just take our shoes off at the door and go about, like whatever. That was to us like a common courtesy thing. And they were like, why do you keep taking your shoes off? Now our kid never has his shoes on. And I'm like, well, why would you have your shoes on in the house? It depends on where you're from. And also, this is something that's interesting to me. I find that places where you have carpet, people wear shoes less inside. And I don't know if it's just because it gets dirty and things like that. But
yeah, they don't have carpet. They still take the shoes.
But they have a lot of rugs.
Well, I also think a lot of it, like I started doing that. Well, I've done it since I was a little kid. I have friends of ours
My
that
parents always
make
us.
fun of me. They're like, "Yeah, Mark, you'd come to the babysitters and take your shoes off right away at the door, and everyone would trip on them," which I still do. Um,
Can I tell
but-
you how many times I've fallen over his shoes? I mean, like.
But I'm
twice
not
a week
tracking
for
mud
a
through the
whole-
house.
How many weeks have we been married?
Probably like I don't know.
It's
1,000?
50, whatever. Okay, so that means I've fallen over his shoes at least 2,000 times. Okay,
Let's see. Hi, Brig.
pretty dear.
Let's see. Be nice. Please be nice to each other on here. Let's see. Osprey like that.
Oh, something about Tanzania. Stop.
Okay, Brig, climb.
Oh,
Go climb. Good boy.
gosh, dang it!
Okay.
It was right there. He just needed like a little stop. It's that one at the top. Okay.
Barbara Heck.
Tell me about your trip planning for Tanzania. We want to take our 2 boys in a couple of years when they are young teens. What safari company did you use, etc.?
We use Shadows of Africa, and their U.S. customer service back and forth isn't. I mean, it was fine. I just think they could have shared more information, but they give you like an information dump with stuff. But they had so much information. You got to kind of pick where you wanted to go. They had recommendations if you didn't know. They did a really nice job. But what was great with Shadows of Africa, their guides were phenomenal. Like, phenomenal. Like, we had them in Rwanda. We had them in Tanzania. All their guides were amazing. So that's we went through that.
Yeah, our guide, well, both Paul was in Rwanda and
Which
Moody was in Tanzania. Moody might have been one of the coolest people I've ever met. If
Yeah.
you guys have ever heard us talk about it. But the part of the big thing for me in the planning was that you've got to use like different bug sprays and stuff for your clothes, and you need to order that like ahead of time. It's called permethrin, or I might be saying that wrong. But Sawyer Products is the brand that makes a bunch of this stuff, and you spray down your clothes and let them dry and blah 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 for like 24 hours and whatever, and it embeds like this bug spray stuff in it, and you need it. I'm not a huge fan of using like chemical stuff on us just generally, but I'm glad we had it, because even with that, I got bit by a tsetse fly, and yowzer, like I jumped out of my seat and I think I screamed a bad word, but my butt came off the seat. That thing bit me. It was like somebody taking their nails, and I didn't even see little stinker, and it just really hard, really fast, and anyway, but it was amazing.
Yeah, so Beth had asked us, are we going to be filming any of our 12 days of Christmas stuff at home, like during the quarantine? Yes, I'm trying to figure out maybe one of the days will just be quarantine stuff to bring people back. It's funny because right now we don't know if we're going to be traveling, so I've only got. I mean, because for those of you who don't know, if you look up 12 Days of Traveling Christmas, Walter's World, for the last 5 years, we put out videos where every day is a different thing, and we do it, film in different parts of the world. So it's like a traveling family for like the first day of Christmas, and so it'll be like in Paris, then it'll be in Rwanda, then it'll be in
Stay
somewhere.
at home, family.
Yeah, that doesn't work. You got to get the right beats right, and so we do that, and so we're trying to figure that out. And the thing is, I'm also working on another secret Christmas video for this year. That'll come out as well. So we're working on some stuff for you, Beth. Don't worry.
Hey, Sahil had a good point about chai tea.
I wasn't drinking chai tea. That was relaxation tea.
No, I just made
climb,
you chai.
climb. Oh,
You have chai now.
Oh, that's why it's chalky.
So
now.
Sahil says chai just means tea. So you're just saying tea. Yes, it
That's why I love you,
does.
Sahil.
And also in Greek, chai is tea.
But in Lithuanian, it's arbatos.
So, okay, because it's like herbs.
No, it's arbatos.
Okay. So anyway, but here in the States, chai is Indian tea. It's like the spicy Indian thing. So there you go.
So Thomas B, hey Mark and Jocelyn, have you ever been to Stuttgart and towns around its side like Schwabisch Hall? So I was supposed to go there. I'm supposed to go there in August with my mom, actually, and my dad might come, but we don't know what's going on now because since my parents are in their more mature ages, I don't want to take any chance with them, so I don't know if we'll be doing that. And that kind of goes to people's questions. When do you think this is going to be over? Like for me personally, I'm not hopeful for a lot of our summer trips. Let's just put it that way. So there is that. Let's see. I like this one. Donald Hughes. Oh my God, I might have gotten my fiance that same backpack, and we ended up attaching carbonara to the water bottles. Yeah, dude. Seriously, those things just pop out. Can you see how we're getting these things a little bit different timing than you? Oops.
Oh, 1500, 1800 old headstones that should be restored or something. They just let them crumble. So there are a lot of different organizations, being in preservation, that I have found that do work on cemeteries, but the money is spread really thin between cemeteries because cemeteries are all historic and they're all, there's always a reason to save them. But there just isn't enough money to save all of them. So yes, often that's really sad. So if that concerns you, when you make your plans for your death, I don't know how else to put that.
Your funeral arrangements.
So when you make your funeral arrangements, you can actually you can ask to make a contribution to the upkeep of the cemetery that you'll be residing in. So that's something to keep in mind.
Reggie and her man. Hey, Walter, we're sitting in our red chairs, watching you sit in your red chairs. Glad we can be together on this. Very nice. Some people said we're starting to lag a little bit. Yeah, it's because we're getting about 10:30, so people are starting to get up and watch. Kids are watching their cartoons and stuff like that. That's why I'm going to guess our Wednesday night ones, we've been pretty lucky with the lag so far. And someone had mentioned before that a lot of regions are starting to curb back on the internet because so many people are doing Netflix and Disney Plus and stuff like that, and all the the servers with all the lives like meetings and stuff like that.
They're just forcing you to have more family time together.
That's right. So we're building families these days.
Go play a game.
That's right.
But not life, man. We had a blowout with life last week.
Yeah, it's like
Caleb and I were like at war.
Yeah, because Caleb wasn't getting the insurance stuff, and then he's like, "No, I get the stuff." I'm like, "No, you didn't buy it." "Oh, I did." I'm like, "No, you didn't." And I'm like, "Okay," like that's what it was kind of like. Yeah,
and he was winning. The thing is, he was hammering every one of us, and
yeah.
So I got really mad. Like, if you're winning, you should just shut up.
Yeah.
Okay.
He was a little tense in the house that night. I think Eric Pelkey has a good question. Have you guys ever been fooled about travel destinations? I.e., the destination was advertised as a lavish place, but when you arrived, it was a dump. Sadly, yes, and that's actually where that's why we really started this, or I started this, and then Jocelyn hopped on. Until the marriage. Because I got a guidebook. It was basically the equivalence of a AAA guidebook for the Veneto region in Italy, and I flew into Venice, and I was going to be there for about a month. I was like, you know what? I'll just get a local guidebook and then do what they say. And the first town that was in the thing, it wasn't an alphabetical order or anything like that. It was just like that was the first town they had. I'm like, okay, well, it must be good if it's on there. And they had this thing. I read it. I'm like, man, the Palazzo, everything sounds so fantastic. And I was going there. I told my friends in Italy, that lived in Veneto. I'm like, hey, this is where I'm going to go. Like, wow, that sounds great. It's great. We'll go this weekend. And I went there. The town was.
But they had never heard of it.
They never heard of it. They're like, wow, I've never heard of this place, which is like should have told me something, because Italians know they're all like little.
They know their little towns.
They know their towns and their regions and stuff like that. And so, And so I went and like museum was closed, Palazzo wasn't worth it. The food, I mean, it was just like I'm like this was like going to some cruddy suburb of something. Like, why am I here? And then that really got me started because I was doing my PhD at the time, so I had some free time because it was between semesters. But then I thought of my friends that were working in the U.S. and had maybe 10 days of vacation a year, and I'm like, man, think about those people that have like 10 days of vacation a year. And now they wasted 10% of the vacation because they came one day to this town that this guidebook said was great, but it wasn't. And after that, I started really recognizing when like blogs and travel guides were really like, you could tell that they were obviously got something out of running something nice. And I always harp back up on this YouTube channel that they used to go, this is the greatest city in Mexico to visit. And then they like did that on 3 videos in a row. And I'm like, and then I found out later that they had been sponsored to go to those places. And I'm like, oh, that's why you said it's the greatest, because that's what you're supposed to say when they sponsor you. I'm like, yeah. And now you see why we don't get sponsorships, because we won't say it's the greatest place unless it really is. We'll be honest with things. And so that's why those super chats and things like that on there, that's why it makes a big difference, because we're not getting that big YouTube sponsorship money that a lot of other people do. So there's that. Yes, Ethan, we did like your home country of Croatia. It is a gorgeous place. We highly recommend people looking for a place to go for good food, great sites, history, stuff like that. Croatia is a great one on there. Hey, Pitch and Loft TV, good to see you.
Carol asks, how do y'all decide where to go? Do you take turns? So
Way.
Sometimes we let you guys decide. They're often y'all get to pick things when we put it on our what do we call that thing? Our community stuff in
On Patreon and
well, actually, our patrons and members get they get more say. They get to say it more often.
Yeah, but we also do every year we at least do one trip that is specifically voted on by the YouTube community and our other community out there. So we'll do that. And one of the things we were going to do in April is we were going to, because we have all these miles, we were basically going to have our patrons and our fans and everybody, they were going to get to vote where we get to go. So Josh and I would go for a weekend, and it would be like, okay, now you get to vote on here. Now tomorrow's the things we can do tomorrow. And so it's kind of like choose your own adventure, but with travel. And that was the whole plan for April. But now there's no travel really going on, so we had to kind of move that.
Right.
So JL, they went to La Quinta and were disappointed. That was pretty funny.
What now?
Excuse me. Nothing. One person's like, when you're talking about they were disappointed stuff, they were like, I went to La Quinta and I was kind of disappointed. It was funny. Poland 80, thank you very much for the super chat. I appreciate it, my friend.
Thank you.
Wisconsin loves the Walters. Thank you, Wisconsin. I love Culver's, and your Wisconsin cheesiness is so good. I miss Culver's.
Marie McInnes says, we also lived in the UK and actually never drove a car there. We always managed with trains and buses. Is it possible to take the train from London to see the Normandy landing areas? Not really.
Well, no.
Sort of. Well, you can get from London to Paris, and then you can take a train to pretty close. Mm-hmm. But then you're going to have to, I don't know, we rented a car, and that allowed us to see a whole lot. And there are, shuttles and things in the Normandy area if you're there, particularly at a busy time of year. But you can't take it all the way to,
you can't go to the beaches and stuff, right. So you have to get some kind of transportation there. And if you're coming down, you might just rent the car for a day or two and do that. And you can do that, but to get the train all the way to where you can in Normandy. Someone who's asking a better college town, Emory, Atlanta, or Michigan. I'm going to have to say Atlanta's a much more fun city. Sorry.
Atlanta over what?
University of Michigan. You can't really choose.
Oh, Emory.
Because one's just a huge city, so it's kind of a tough call.
Well, but as a college town, Michigan would have it's a smaller. It's a college town.
Because we've been at Emory campus. So one of my old TAs, she went to Emory, and she was down there, and we went to visit her, and it's like a suburb-ish part of. It's in Atlanta, but it's like a suburb part of it, so you don't have a super university town feel. Whereas at University of Michigan, where Ross College Business is and stuff like that, then it's actually the town is all about the university. We're here at the University of Illinois, and it's all about the university here. So it's a different kind of vibe to it.
It depends on what you want.
Yeah. So there's that.
Minnesota loves Walters more than Wisconsin.
That Wisconsin, Minnesota, let them go. Hey, you both are really nice states. They're nice, so be nice to each other, okay? Is your dog's name Earthquake? No, his name's Brigadier, but you think there's earthquakes coming, how he's being crazy. Because our dog's going crazy. He's like, you all are here all the time, let's do stuff. And so he's like, more walks. But he hurt his front right paw, and so he can't he can only walk about a block.
Oh,
But he thinks he can still run like a puppy.
But if somebody walks by our house, he's in the window, ferocious.
Yeah.
Ferocious.
Yeah, Babs is right. You got to drive stick when you're there.
Yeah.
Musings at Midlife.
Hi.
Hey, good to see you again. And thank you for the super chat. Just saying hi and thank you from Minnesota. Johnson spent her summers there by Duluth. So
yeah.
And we went there. We did a video in Duluth, and then I can't believe I didn't do more stuff when we were in Minneapolis, which is weird. But my brother actually worked in Minneapolis. He did a fellowship there when he finished his medical school stuff. So. Nice place, really great place. I highly recommend going to Minnesota. People are super nice. They got some good food there. Really beautiful nature. So,
what breed of dog? Brigadier is a mutt.
There's Doberman and other stuff.
And I think I don't know. A black and tan coonhound is what I think. I definitely think there's some kind of hound in him.
Yeah.
But he's just a big old.
He's just a good puppy, aren't you? I'm gonna move your teeth.
Are you guys celebrating Easter in lockdown? We're trying to decide whether to do Scottish tablet chases or Cadbury's cream egg hunt.
So here's our thing. So I have to be quiet with this because Liam's upstairs. So Liam's birthday is right around Easter as well, and so we had got before this really got all locked down. I made sure we went and bought a bunch of like chocolate eggs and stuff like that. So we're gonna have something so we can do the hiding, like you said, of the Cadbury eggs and stuff like that. So we've kind of got these things ready just in case. And since his birthday's coming, I made sure we had an extra thing of quesos because he loves queso. So we're gonna have try to make a little queso thing with him. So it's we're trying to hide a few things in our store, like in the back where we have our stuff, so he doesn't. So he can have a little bit of a Easter surprise and a birthday surprise too. So hopefully he didn't hear this. So anyway, moving on. We got stuck. All right. Dab 264. Nobody likes Wisconsin. Oh, hush now, hush now.
Michael Mon said he's banning everybody if you continue to fight about that, but he's joking because he's from Minnesota.
Yeah. Stephen Flynn, I cannot tell you what you want to hear about Cancun, my friend. We'll just have to wait and see. I'm hoping for you. Make sure you have your sunblock just in case. All right.
Shout out from the Philippines.
Hello, oh, hey!
World.
That was and the Philippines was one of the places when we had that plan to do the Australia, New Zealand, coming up through like Philippines, Taiwan, or was it Indonesia, Philippines, Taiwan, Korea, I think, and then coming back to the U.S. That was part of our plan. So we want to get there eventually. Don't you worry about that. Our One Revolution, huge fans. Y'all are grand to us. Thank you very much. Let's see. Dizzy Lizard looking at flights in Thailand in December. I was hoping to find some cheap flights, but the flights look about what they normally cost. Here's the thing. This is one thing is, as airlines have really cut back on their number of passengers flying, that all of a sudden takes a lot of the supply out of the supply line, and so therefore prices get driven back up because there's still people that are looking to fly. So you're not really going to find those cheap flight deals for later in the year, at least not yet. I mean, what you're going to find is if things start getting better and people can travel again, you might still see some deals on relatively close term flights, looking at the supply demand kind of stuff. As a marker, I'd see that, but you're not going to, because since there's so much uncertainty with this, that there might not be too many like great deals. I mean, you might see deals when it's safe to travel again, but people still don't travel because the knock-on effect of being worried about going places. Then you might see some really lower prices, but I don't see that happening quite yet.
Okay.
So
Babs is talking about Parisian cheese. You know, one of my girlfriends, Sandra, had posted something on one of my friends. She posted something on Facebook the other day. She goes, "Y'all can have your TP. I got my cheese," and it was like 12 blocks of like fancy cheeses. And
I was that looks so good.
That's my woman right there. That's who she is. Somebody was asking something about a doctorate, and it was just down lower a bit.
Lower.
Right around there. Right around that question about the dog. Dag nabbit.
So Andre writes, "Hello from Los Angeles. Hey, I hope you're doing okay there, my friend. Will this unprecedented times have your views on travel change? Will you do anything different?" No, we'll keep traveling. I mean, people will go back to traveling. We'll be doing that. I think what will change for us when this is over is probably where we're going to travel first. We want to help out places like we're definitely going to get Italy and see our friends there. We got a wedding to go to and to celebrate for them. But I think what you'll see in a lot of travel overall, a lot of people want to go traveling, but the financial implications of all these people losing their jobs and the financial hardships that are coming, that's going to have a big impact on travel there. So I think you'll have less people traveling overall. You'll have the demand. I think the demand will be bent up, but then it's the financial reality of like, look, I've lost my job, you know, or I've lost my side job, because there's people on here like, they lost 2 of their 4 jobs. I'm like, that's horrible. You had to have 4 jobs, and now 2 of them are gone. I mean, you're going to have this knock-on effect. So I think you'll see a change where people are probably going to go less exotic, stay at more places they already know. Also, you see more like domestic travel, because people will be worried, like, if something happens, can I get back home? I don't want to get stuck, because you're going to have all these stories of people talking about, I'm stuck in Germany, I'm stuck in Denmark, I'm stuck someplace, I can't get back home. That will have a big ramification on a lot of people's mentality on travel going in the future. So there is that.
There are a lot of places in the world, though, I wouldn't mind being stuck.
Yeah. Chiang Mai, or Fly Ja, greetings from Chiang Mai. Hey, hope you're doing okay. Hello in Iowa. Hello in Ohio. Hello in California, New York. Uppsala, Sweden.
Oh,
Man, I've been there
Terry's
for
here.
everything.
Uppsala.
Terry's online? Good.
Mm-hmm. She said
Sleepyhead
she's
is
sleeping.
here. Oh, Terry. It's Central Time, Terry. Come on, it's 10:45. But it's Saturday, so I'll give it to you that way.
Thoughts on
Mark is
Kentucky?
probably snoring. Keep her up.
He's Thoughts on Kentucky? Is it worth a look? I like Kentucky.
Whiskey Trail.
Yep. So you've got the I always call it the Bourbon Trail.
The Bourbon Trail. Yeah.
But anyway, you've got that, and it's just like a really nice place to spend some time.
Some nice nature there.
Yeah, good
Some
nature
hikes.
stuff. Good hiking. Yeah.
Fly Jaw, thank you for being with us since 40,000 followers. It's been a few years since we've been there. At the rate our subs are going, we might be closer to 40,000 than 700. But we really appreciate you sticking with us. And all of you for having stuck with us for all these years. It really means a lot. Whether you just found us or you've been going with us on these travels for a long time, we just want to say thank you. Because we really appreciate all the support you all show us, the comments, the views, the subscriptions, retweets, shares, all that kind of stuff. It all really does make a difference, and we really do appreciate it. And that's one of the reasons why we want to keep doing these live feeds, at least through. I mean, we'll keep doing live feeds, but like every Wednesday and Saturday
Regularly.
for the rest of April, and then we'll probably do some more depending on how things are going. We'll still be doing our live feeds, but we really have enjoyed these live feeds to help us get to know you better as well and answer some of your questions. And it's nice. And for some of us, like I know for me, I look forward to this every Saturday and Wednesday. I'm like, yes, we get to have this time to chat. So it's really cool out there. Yeah, one of our fans there in New York City, and people still aren't taking it seriously. They're not wearing masks and stuff like that. Yeah, I mean, we all really need to take this seriously. Like, stay home. And the thing is, some places are more affected than others, but that doesn't mean that you don't follow the rules. You don't follow the recommendations. Go to cdc.gov. They have all kinds of stuff there to tell you what you should do, what you can do, because they're going to give you like the straight answers that you need to know, whereas sometimes the media will make it more sensational or less sensational, whatever they want to get kind of like people to click on stuff. So just remember that. So when you get freaked out, just turn off the social media for a while, stay in your house, know that tomorrow the sun will come up, okay, and go from there, okay? So just try to stay positive. Things just stay positive. That's all I'm going to say. Thank you, Peter Eves, Walter's World, best channel on YouTube. All their channels not nearly as good. It's not even close, folks. That's the best. It's unbelievable. Believe me. Peter Eves, is your name Kathy Walters in real life? Sounds like my mom was writing that. But thank you, Peter. That's really nice of you. Thank you so much. Southwest Sweden, Carl, good to see you up on here.
Favorite vegetarian vegan restaurant? Well, Stush in the Bush in Jamaica.
Yeah, that was awesome.
And
that's the whole experience. Like they grow it all there, so all the food you eat, they made there too. It was phenomenal.
That place is probably the best vegan restaurant I've ever eaten at anywhere in the world. But I also think that Rwanda had some really great vegetarian dishes.
Yeah.
I mean, just like I didn't go to Rwanda expecting to be blown away by their food, but I was.
Yeah. So Pop Music 42, thank you very much for the super chat. Says, love your channel. Have you ever been to Banff? No, I have not. Sadly, I want to go. I want to actually put that together in a trip. I was invited to speak up by there in late November, and we had our trip. We'll go in November this year. Oh, we were supposed,
Aruba.
we ended up in Aruba, and so we already had a trip planned up, so I had to couldn't go to talk up there. But we'll get up there.
No more.
So if any of you want to know, when you go to Canada, the provincial parks, the national parks in Canada are phenomenal. Like, Canada is just like
Down.
picture postcard everywhere you look. So Banff is definitely worth a place to go, and a lot of other places. So Eric Pelkey, this is one of the situations we're talking about. My parents are stuck in Belize at their small vacation home. I'm sure Grandpa doesn't mind. Grandma's worried about her medication. The pharmacy only carries a couple of them. This is one issue, I think, that is another thing that I think people will need a wake-up call when we travel. Not saying about your grandma and grandpa, but medication when you travel. You can't necessarily always get it. Now, if you're in the U.S. and you travel around the U.S., you can call your doctor back home. They can send to any Walgreens or CVS around the U.S. Mm-hmm. But if you're going abroad, I mean, we've had it before. Like I had meds and they got stolen when we were traveling. And I called my doctor. I'm like, hey, I need a prescription. Like, we can get you stuff, but we can't send you the prescription anywhere because we were in Tanzania and we were going to Amsterdam, I think. And they're like, we have no connection there, so we can't get it to it. We can't send a prescription anywhere. And so it's like, all right, so we end up having to get a friend to get it for us and send it to us that way we could get it. But your doctor is limited.
He mailed it to us.
Yeah, and so your doctors are limited what they can do. So I always tell people, like, look, if you're going to travel, make sure you don't just have, like, if you got a 10-day trip, don't just take 12 days. Take like 3 weeks of your stuff. Have that, because
always
have the backup just in case, because you don't want to get stuck somewhere. And I think now, because some places, like, they only give you like a month's worth of things at a time. If you talk to your insurance provider, there's a thing called, I think it's called like it's like a travel. Was it a travel stipend? So like a year they'll give you like an extra month or two because you're going to travel. So they'll like let you buy your meds, but that's now everywhere.
No.
So it's really tough.
However, Eric, you may be able to talk to your grandmother and see if you can't. You'd be able to pick it up at Walgreens or CVS or whatever,
and FedEx it,
and FedEx it to her, insure it, and FedEx it to her.
Yeah, and because it's not always guaranteed.
Don't use a mail system, not because our mail system isn't great, but because
the timing,
the timing and stuff gets a little funky sometimes. So it's better to use like FedEx, DHL.
Yeah, and FedEx, I always recommend FedEx. And the thing is, you can be tracking it because if it doesn't get through customs or something like that, so just have a heads up for that one because there's a lot of rules about what you can send and can't send and stuff like that. Chris in Ohio, good to see you. Let's see.
Good morning.
Well, they've been looking at Rwanda and Tanzania. I'm looking at Shadows of Alcar. One of our primary criteria in a travel company is sustainability. I can't remember what their thing was with that.
I don't know anything except that I do know that both when you go to see the gorillas, if you see the gorillas, and when you do safari in Tanzania, a big portion of what you pay to enter the parks and to do those things goes directly to, taking care of the wildlife and stopping poachers and things like that. So there's a lot of things like that. But as for just normal sustainability, I don't know what that is. Although they can book you sustainable housing and things like that. Like there are some of those things, but quite frankly, I feel like there's just a lot of sustainable.
Yeah,
naturally that's what a lot.
You have
of
nowhere near
are.
the waste in Tanzania and Rwanda as you have in the U.S.
No.
I mean, nowhere near. Like we can learn a lot for reusability, sustainability. So it'll give you a new perspective of what true reusability is when you're there for sure. Sahil Panza. If you're ever in India, do visit the South. South Indian food is not as prevalent in the West. It is life-changing. I've heard that from a lot of people.
But there were a couple South Indian dishes. Do you remember that I used to get at the Indian place next door in Lisbon? So there was an Indian place like 3 doors down from us. I ate Indian food like 4 days a week when I was pregnant. That's like all I craved. And
let me make sure she had it.
Yeah, they had a very diverse menu.
It was one of those places that had like a what was it called? What's that place? The Cheesecake Factory, like the huge menu because it was like anything and everything, and they had different regions.
They had different regions represented and stuff, but I ate. Well, every time we go back to Lisbon, we go there, and they remember us. Yeah, they're like, "You have another kid."
Like, wait, do we have to give ice cream to two of them? Yes, you do.
Yeah. Anyway, but oh my gosh, their coconut ice cream. Every day when we would walk up the street to go to the grocery store or something, Caleb would run over and they would see him and they would bring him coconut ice cream. Yeah, they just brought him coconut ice cream off.
He was like their unofficial mascot because he'd stand outside. He was like 3, this little cute kid eating the ice cream. They're like, well, if this little cute kid's liking it, they go in. Yeah. It was hilarious. We really loved that place. Let's see.
Oh my gosh, Paul Tipton. Not much self-isolation going on near me. My neighbors had a party until 3 a.m. and I saw lots of people out yesterday when I was working.
Be careful, Paul.
Dude, stay away from your neighbors.
I know what we've done is what you can do, like we keep the 6 feet distance, like sometimes, because I think we have 8 cases in our city now or our county. And what we'll do is like, we'll talk, but like my buddy, like he'll be on this part of the driveway and I'll be like 10 feet away on the driveway. We'll just talk that way to have our kind of thing. And so some people are having these kind of like either the Zoom happy hour or they have the driveway happy hour where they like kind of put their lawn chairs separated and they bring their drinks and they just talk that way. So do make good choices when you are doing this. We want you all to be able to travel again and not be sick, and we can all help out in our ways. But yeah, so there is that.
I'm done with that slime.
Yeah. Jennifer Benzie, would you ever go woofing World of Organic Farming? I don't know what that is, so I can't really say. I guess it's organic farming. Yeah, I don't know. I'm sorry. Let's see.
Good God.
Let's see.
Okay, you're done.
Yeah, the dog just totally slimed Josh. Like it's like when your dog gets a little too slimy and it's like, and then he gets you and you're just like white ball of blah. And it's all. Oh my God. The whole seat. You want my chair, babe?
No, it's fine, honey. I'm small enough I don't have to sit in the spot.
Yeah, like it's like someone dumped a glass of water on the chair.
Down.
Ugh.
You're just, I
Ugh.
can't handle it right now, buddy.
Yeah. Let's see. Oh, we're jumping around again. Sorry if I kind of like a brain fart right here.
Oh, Eric Pelkey, a lot of times they don't even receive anything we send. People steal it, or I guess it just gets lost. My grandparents have a lot of issues with locals. Something breaking and stealing. That's not good.
Sucks.
Yeah.
And that's the thing is that and especially when you have vacation homes in different countries, you have a little less thing because people know that, oh, that's a vacation home and those people don't live in this country. I mean, that's why we have family in Brazil and they had a summer house. They eventually just moving there full time because it was just too much of a pain for this. Arrive, yes. Can you read this message, please? Yes, I did read that. I read your message. I didn't see your other one. I'm sorry. For those of you wondering, like our stuff jumps around different than yours, so we're not trying to ignore you. It's just jumping around. So sorry for that. Oh, chicken vindaloo, Babs. Why'd you have to say that out loud? I'm dying here. Oh, so speaking Indian food, this reminded me. So in Berlin, if you go to the Kreuzberg area of Berlin, there's all kinds of international restaurants there. Tons of great Turkish food, but the Indian food there is fantastic too. And this Indian restaurant I went. So I lived 2.5 years in Berlin. I found this place. I had never had Indian food before. My friend took me there. He's like, you should try Indian food. I'm like, okay. I had it. I'm like, this is amazing. I started going there 5 times a week, and I would get the vindaloo all the time. And the guy's like, please, just try something else. I'll give it to you for free. Just, you need to try other things. Like, but it's so good. He's like, Mark, I will bring your stuff out. And so I'm like, okay. I'm like, this is so good. And then I went through the whole menu, and then I would just get like, what do we want to have? And it was funny because in Germany, they didn't have a lot of spicy foods, but I'd been loving the spicy food. So like been there, going there so long because I lived for 2.5 years, so it's a lot of Indian food. So they would give me the spicier kind, like the kind that's so spicy that when they bring it out, you see people sweating as it goes by them. And so they put it at the table over there. I'd start sweating just by looking at it, and it was so good. And so the locals would be like, "Oh, can we get it spicy like his?" And they'd be like, "No, you can't. You're German. You cannot have the spiciness like he can." Because they trained me up over years of getting the super hot stuff. Now I'm sure I couldn't take it. I know I couldn't take it now, but I'd have to like work up to it again. But
Liam might.
Liam might, yeah. It was funny. Liam, our youngest, when he was a baby, like 1, 2. He loved hot sauce, and so he would put hot sauce on his food when he was little, and his brother got shamed. His 5-year older brother got shamed into trying hot sauce because his little brother was eating it.
Last night we took our leftovers and made sort of like a nacho thing, and Liam's like, I want jalapenos on mine, and Cam's like, no, I don't really want jalapenos. It was kind of funny.
So Francis, your question that got hidden. Yeah, I can understand why Mark had to like put that on the side. So our pre-family travels, I've been traveling since I was in high school. I went as an exchange student to Australia and an exchange student in Finland when I was in high school. And then when I went to college, I did an exchange in Austria, in Argentina, and I would travel backpack in the summers. So I've been doing this since I was a kid. Since I was a teenager kind of stuff. Before that, when I was a little kid, our vacations we had as kids, all we ever did, we went from Illinois to go see my grandpa in Toledo, Ohio, and then we go over to Sandusky, Ohio, and go to Cedar Point and see our friends there, and that's what we have. So that was my travel as a pre-Jocelyn time. But it's so hard to remember anything before Jocelyn because everything's been so wonderful since she's been in my life.
There you go, baby.
And Jocelyn, I know you did a lot of stuff with your parents.
I traveled a lot as a kid, and then when I was in college, I just didn't have 2 pennies to rub together, so I didn't really do a whole lot of that. But then I did, I don't know, Mark and I started dating, and all the things I learned in traveling with my parents came right back. There was a test. When we were dating, I went to visit him in Lisbon, and we went to Paris for the weekend. And I was like, so can I just take like my backpack instead of my whole carry-on or whatever? And he was like,
this could work.
This could work. Yeah, that was fun. I was like, I don't really need that many clothes, do I? Can I just do this? And he was like, oh, this might be okay.
Yeah.
So
we did some of those
Jennifer
things.
Explains.
So woofing is, so someone asked if we do woofing. Woofing is you get to stay at a working farm. You get paid in food and lodge, but you can go around all the farms. Another way of seeing the world other than watching your Ace videos. Thanks, Jen. No, that is cool. And the thing is, there's a lot of what's called voluntourism where you can volunteer in different places around the world and help out. We had friends that have volunteered just working at orphanages around the world, or they've worked at monkey sanctuaries in Ecuador and stuff like that. I mean, there's a lot of things we can do that's not the traditional go see the church and the museum kind of stuff. And I think for a lot of people, that might be a new alternative for them because sometimes you're like, I can't do any more museums. find time to maybe give back and stuff like that. I know a lot of my students like to do volunteerism during spring break, and so none of them got to do that this year, but it's kind of an interesting thing.
Mission trips are another good thing.
Yeah.
Like a lot of churches have those, and you're out there doing good for others.
Bye,
so.
Captain Bunny Killer.
All right.
Ron's beer reviews. I'm sure I will be reviewing some of what I have left. I'll check out your channel, man. Thanks. It just jumped around on us again. Okay, so Baggy T, and someone else, I think you asked this before. Hi, Mark and Jocelyn. As a British citizen, would you exchange pounds for pesos or take U.S. dollars to exchange in Buenos Aires? So in Buenos Aires, you can pay in U.S. dollars. They'll let you pay in dollars straight away, and you can pay credit card like all over the place. So use your credit card, whichever one has the no international fee. Use that, and just bring dollars with you when you exchange. You can have some British pounds, but if you already have dollars, you're probably going to get a better rate in the UK getting dollars anyway. Bring some dollars with you, then pay with card. That would be my recommendation. You'll get change back maybe in pesos, so you have some stuff there. But a lot of places we saw, I should say not every place will have the credit card sign, but not every place will have a working credit card thing. So it's always a good idea to have cash when you're there. Okay. Also with the steaks, you might say medium. That's still going to be really well done. They like their steaks like
you have to
charcoal.
say bloody.
Yeah, it'll be like bloody, like almost alive. Then it'll be like medium rare.
Yeah. Anita says, would you let your college-age kid do study abroad in Austria in the fall?
Yeah, this fall?
I don't know. I mean, this fall, it's maybe going to be touch and go as to whether or not those things are offered and how they're going to be offered just because of the current climate. But our kids will do study abroad. I don't think that
yeah, we're going to kick them out.
question.
You're going. I don't want to. Caleb's like, I don't want to do it. I'm like, I don't
going.
care. Bye.
Actually, so our friends in Italy, we had talked about the kids probably doing it next year, possibly the year after. Filippo is going to he's a year older than Caleb, right?
Yeah.
So he may come next year. I mean, we've talked about how that's going to look. And it was going to be rather sooner than later. So, we definitely encourage study abroad. And Mark takes students abroad.
Yeah, I take students. I actually teach in Austria.
And
so if they're going to do college study abroad, well, they wouldn't have my class. I do it in the summer.
You studied abroad.
Yeah, I studied abroad there. Yeah, I mean, overall, it's a great place. But Anita, I would say if you're worried about the college-age student, your child going to study abroad, your university will not let them go. Because in the university is going to be much more on we're going to make sure we're not going to get sued. We're going to make sure everybody's okay. So they will definitely let you know if that's going to happen or not. Okay. So they'll be more up on that. And the fall is so far away. And the thing is the semester in Austria starts in like October. So it's a long way out to really know. Ron, we're in Illinois, my friend. Let's see that. Francis, be good. Hope you're doing okay. We'll see you next time. Charles Schwab, HSBC also are good at no ATM fees. That's one thing is when you're looking to take money out when you do go abroad, use your home bank ATM because you take out money with a credit card, they're going to have higher fees. Your home bank ATM, you know your home bank and you can go complain at them a little bit easier than like a big, huge corporate bank that has no idea what's going on with you. One thing I would say is be careful if you're going to Europe, these Euronext, and actually, it's not just Euronext. There's a lot of banks that will have their ATMs, and you'll take out money and like, oh, well, we can convert that for you to U.S. dollars already instead of euros. Never take the conversion ever. You will always get ripped off. Okay, like some might only be a little percentage. Sometimes I've seen where it's 20% difference what they're offering you because they're guaranteeing you this rate. Yeah, take your home bank's one out there. There's a lot of good videos about that rip off. So be careful with it. Yes.
Natural light coming in the window.
I don't know what you're talking about. Other things out there. Keith Middleton, Jocelyn, are you willing to share your Greek chicken recipe you mentioned in your blog?
Yes, actually, if you look on the blog, I wrote it down for somebody. Here's the problem with pretty much all my recipes. Also, why I cannot bake. I don't measure anything. I never have measured anything.
It's a skosh here, a handful there.
My yaya is like, until it
Blicker
feels
blogger.
good.
What's a blicker blogger? I don't know. A gloop.
Even
a glop.
And we could do Donna does a glug.
I know.
She's like a glug of this and a glug of that.
Well, I can do a glug. So you pour it, then it goes glug. Okay, so it refills. I guess,
that much. So it is. If you look on that, which log was that? It was Greek Independence Day. So that was the 25th of March. At the bottom, someone asked me for that, and it's down there. It's really simple and really tasty.
So Spiky Bubbles, have you ever traveled somewhere without telling anybody? Well, we don't always tell our fans where we're going right away for safety reasons. Well, nothing worried about you guys, but you saw some weirdos will pop up in here occasionally. But like I don't not tell Jocelyn. I'm not like, hey Jocelyn, guess what? I'm in Paris, and she'll be like, you bastard! Why didn't you take me? Like the only surprise travel I'll do is like I'll surprise my mom or something like that, or my dad, and I'll go home and visit them.
Mm-hmm.
But those things. When I was younger, like in college and stuff like that, I would go places like just to go. And so like one time I was in Germany, and I got that there was this great deal to Finland, and so I just flew to Finland from Germany when I was just traveling there in college. And I called my mom, like, oh, hey, Mom, I'm in Finland now. She's like, oh, I wondered where you were, because she didn't know I'd gone there, but there's that.
Babs, the blog is on waltersworld.com.
Yeah, if you go down here, right down there, you can see it.
Link.
And it'll be like quarantine day, week 1, day 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, stuff like that.
Yeah, I started it after we were doing a week. I still don't understand about hoarding TP.
Ron, I like you guys. Okay, so the reason why people hoard TP is because it's something they can control. Like think about it, in your life, when is the one thing that happens in your life you feel the complete loss, no control, what am I going to do? It's when you reach over for toilet paper, there's nothing there, and you're like, oh my God, what do I do now? That kind of stuff. And so people are scared, and that's something they can have a control on, and it's kind of a coping mechanism. Sadly, some people have overdone it with the toilet paper, so it's kind of bad that way, and I hope that stores don't let people take it back, because there's people that don't have toilet paper right now.
Your mom is on.
I know my mom's been on for a while.
I didn't know that.
She's gone. Come back. Hey, Henry. Good to see you, buddy.
Good morning, Henry. Somebody else said, it was funny. Who needs measurements with Jocelyn Walters? I see an award-winning cooking show coming. I tell you.
Yeah,
and Michael says that my Italian wife cooks that way. A bit of this and a bit of that turns out amazing without a recipe.
I have Newt.
Because you know what tastes good. And this is why I love to cook and I don't love to bake, because I can taste it as I go, and I can add what needs to happen as I cook. I'm always out of spoons by the end of a big meal, because I'm just teaspoon. I got to get some like little tiny ones of those. Anywho, baking, I have a hard time because I have no idea. You know, I'm like, ooh, this cake would be really good if I added some lemon, but I don't know how much. Like and like, who needs recipes? Okay.
Yeah. So Mr. Means to Travel, go check them out. They're nice people. Do you have specific recipes you like to cook to remind you of your travels? We're starting to experiment more with this given the downtime. So we actually have done a lot of our food is actually inspired from our travels. So we'll have different things we do
and it's never the exact same, because it's hard to get we have a pretty international community because of the university. But sometimes I have a hard time finding certain things. But you know what I was thinking about doing this week? Just for fun, because I love this thing called mousse de maracujá. It's passion fruit mousse from Portugal, or not Portugal,
Brazil.
From Brazil. Sorry. I first had it in Portugal.
Bertha's gonna kill you now if she sees this.
Oh my gosh, his Portuguese or his
Brazilian mother. My God, woman, you want to kick her while she's down? You want to forget she's from Minas Gerais? Huh? Yeah.
She's gonna kill me.
I'll just finish the rest of this before you dig yourself a grave in Brazil. Because we're going to go see them when this is over too. By the way,
so,
no. Go. Okay, go ahead.
I am so sorry.
I'll just
go
dig that grave for you.
So,
right there.
I wanted to make mousse de maracujá this week or something, just because I have all this stuff. I love Brazilian desserts because they're really simple. The problem with Brazilian desserts is it's like there's a lot of dairy and there's a good measure of sugar.
But also there's a lot of exotic fruits that it's not always easy to get.
And the fruits are the hard thing. I can get, and passion fruit mousse you can get, or passion fruit pulp you can get in a lot of Latin American groceries and things like that. So that one's pretty easy. But anyway, so I was thinking about maybe doing a couple like quick vids on those just for fun, just travel while you're at home, So, okay.
Okay, so there's a few more questions I want to get because we've been on for about 2 hours and 10 minutes. We'll go for a bit longer. Someone's saying we're getting a lot of moving.
I want to say this really fast. Mark Walters says, Walters in an RV sounds like a really fun reality show. Somebody pitch that to a travel company or something, because I want to do it. I really want to do it. This man is not picking up what I'm putting down.
We'll get there eventually. From the Wolverine State, everybody's doing well up there in Michigan. I'm glad we could help out with our travel tips. Let's see. Sarah Potter, I do not know that company, so I can't really help you with that one.
Innova. I'm going to look it up, though, because I want to know.
Um, Bononkos, will there be an online game named World of Walters? If so, how? Actually, I'm going to try to do some online game, not online game, but like some game stuff with my students actually to try to help them stay sane since they're all stuck at home with their parents and trying to adjust. Bye, Terry. Bye, everybody. Oh, Terry's not going. She was saying bye to somebody else on there. Eric, I'm glad we can be a hoot for you guys.
Oh, Kika does the same thing I do. She makes her own recipes out of the recipe that they're given. It's always that way, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. So someone was asked about getting a visa to work. So getting a visa to work in another country is not easy. I'm not going to lie to you. If you have an advanced degree, it can be a little bit easier, but it's still not easy. What I look for is companies. Sometimes it's better to work for a company in your home country that has like jobs that will send you abroad for a little bit of time. But those are going away a lot now too because you're having all the Zoom meetings that we're all going through now. So it is tough. You can look for some countries have like special visas for certain things, or like Australia has a work and travel visa where you come and work for 6 months or something like that. I think they still have that, so you can look around that way. But they are tough to get. I mean, I won't lie to you. I would love to be working in Italy, but getting the visa to work there is kind of tough. So.
But if you get hired on with a company, often the company does a lot of that work for you. So sometimes that's the way to do it. All right.
A lot of great comments in the chat. Dang it, too bad we can't like them the way Instagram offers. Yeah. And that's one of the things is like we get so much really good information on these chats. That's actually why. So on my computer, we could show that it's just us, like this part of it. This could be the whole stream, but we know for some people when they're on their phones, it's hard to see some of the comments. So that's why I put that in the video so it goes by so people can see what we're talking about at the time or the things on there, because you all do such a good job of helping everybody out. I know there's some people on here that aren't so cool and aren't so nice, but I'm glad there's really good people on here that are helping everybody out because we can't get everything. So we really appreciate it.
Arcus asks, any cool places one should visit while studying in Washington, D.C. for half a year, going to study abroad there for 1 semester if this pandemic thing gets better? So our friend Rob at Trip Hacks DC, you need to look up his stuff. He is a local. He has like a day job, but he also runs tours and stuff. And he's brilliant. Like he's a really smart guy, does a lot of really good stuff. So he gives you a lot of insiders information on DC that you don't get from others.
And he has stuff on day trips, side trips to do. I mean, his whole thing is on DC. Like he will give you everything you ever wanted to know. It's worth it. And actually, if you hired him for like a day tour when you first get there, it's worth the money just to get all the other insights from him. And he's a good guy too. Jennifer, thank you so much for the super chat. We appreciate it.
Sister.
Fist bump from your thing there. That's really nice of you. Chattanay A, I miss my girlfriend due to home quarantine. Yeah, we feel your pain. I've actually been talking to a couple. She's in Germany, he's in the U.S., and she's like, I can't do this. I can't see him. What am I going to do? I'm like, look, like Joss and I actually had a cross-pond relationship for a year. We were just talking on Skype. We'd go to sleep on Skype and stuff like that. We'd chat during the day. Maybe it wasn't good for our work, but it did give us a chance to talk more, and it was a good chance for us to actually get to know each other better. And so we went through like all those things, like 40 things you should ask before you get married, 20 things to ask before you move in together, 50 things to ask, a million things to ask before. Like we went through them all.
It was really good for our relationship. So think on those things. I also want to really quick give a fist bump to Percy. I know that you're watching us in Scotland, so I just wanted to say hey.
So Kate has a question. Joss, have you ever gone to one of the open doors or open house festivals? I've gone to ones in Scotland, Chicago, San Francisco, and Paris. So if these are the open doors ones where like you get to go into homes, you get to see stuff, they are. We actually have done a few of those. Actually, there's one called the Open, and at Christmas time on the weekends in Fedlenberg, they open up the hofs, the courtyards in a lot of buildings, and so you can go have little things in there. It's really cool.
Yeah, I helped work some of those in Savannah, but I don't think I've ever gone and done them. So choose Chris. All right.
Rob is awesome. Yeah, Sarah, je parle seulement un petit peu de français. Sorry, but I can be a nice tourist. I can ask my directions and stuff. So there is that.
Tyler.
Just woke up, missed everything. Don't worry, we're here every Saturday and Wednesday. So you can get back later. I'm glad you got a good night's rest though. That's what's important. We'll stay. I tell you what, we'll stay on until 11:30 our time, so we'll get to 2.5 hours on here. So we'll be on for another 15 minutes. So if you got any questions, we can help you out. And if you want to watch this again, it does render itself and put itself up, so people can watch these later. if you want to kind of go through
Can
some
you
of the
think
stuff.
of anything else? Okay. My girlfriend thinks Brussels is it. I think you have a typo in here. Is the world place in the world? Can you think of anything good to say about it? So I'm guessing you're saying she says it's the worst. I think it's worth about 2 hours, 3 hours. Like, I mean, Brussels, like the square is cool. I'm glad I went and saw it, but I don't have a need to spend a lot of time in that city. There are so many other
Great places in Belgium to go see.
Yeah, Belgium's got some really great places that I would rather spend my
It
time.
can make a great place to come into when you go explore the rest of Belgium.
Yeah, I mean it's a great place to stop in and stop out, you know? So, yeah.
Oh, someone was asking if we're going outside and exercising, anything like that. So yes, I'm going on like 5 or 6 walks a day because I'm just to get out of the house. So we do one together with the dog in the morning, and then I'll do one by myself, and then we'll take one of the kids out or both the kids out to go walking together. We'll do that. So we have that. So we're trying to get some kind of physical activity. Jocelyn's been doing workout, like YouTube kind of stuff. So doing those things. I got my exercise bike back together, and I got the garage cleaned out. But now that we have a hailstorm coming, I've now put the other car in the garage. So I lost my exercise space. So hopefully I'll get back to doing those once the storm's gone.
Means to Travel and Inside Lauren's Brain are talking about a turtle sanctuary, and I don't know which one y'all are talking about, but we went to one in Brazil that was absolutely incredible. We had such a great time. There is another group in Savannah that does a lot of work with the turtles and stuff, and it's really cool too. So I'm going to guess that all of them are good things to go and visit and to support. And we need to remember to support those places that are smaller, that aren't necessarily
that's
on
the Harry Potter.
everyone's
Take
radar
that out. We did that for tonight.
Right now. Ooh, you found it?
You found the Harry Potter. It was
Rock
in there.
on. No, we have one more.
Close that
we have
one.
the second Fantastic Beasts to watch, or
Whatever.
whatever.
At least we found that.
Percy's doing laps. Hang on just a second. There was another one right near there that I wanted to say. Oh, Stephen Leibowitz.
Hold on, man.
What's the best road trip destination starting from the East Coast? Okay, so the East Coast in and of itself is a really great road trip north to south. Get off of 95, get onto Highway 17. There are a lot of small towns that are really great. 95 will make you want to kill a man. I mean, it's
not the movie
really
one, but it's
frustrating
about
often, especially near the cities. But I think that the East Coast is brilliant. You can go from Florida all the way up to Maine and up into Canada and see some really lovely things. You hit a couple of different really great parks, state parks, national parks are on that if you kind of get on and off of it. But it's a lovely trip. There are some places where you need to do 95, normally around cities and stuff, just because it'll take you less time, but you get to stay in some really great things. So then there's also from like New York, Boston, DC, do some of like Virginia, West Virginia, like get through there and start heading west. There's that northeastern US, and then head west on that and go in all the way even to Chicago. And you get a lot of variety in that. The change from East Coast to, the Midwest. What's wrong, baby?
I'm hungry.
Well, honey,
You
come
know how
on,
to make
let's
food.
eat.
So
answering the question about road trips. Come here, little love.
didn't see that. Road trips, fun. Make sure you have the right gear to go with. And make sure you make planning for stops along the way. Just because it gets a little boring sitting in the car. Have extra batteries to charge your devices. Have the splitters for headphones, so if kids are watching a movie or someone else is in the back watching a movie, make sure that you let the person that's driving get to pick the music, since everyone has to deal with that. And I wish you all good luck for that one. Let's see some other things. I'll scroll back up to the questions I missed. Yeah, Ghent and Bruges are great. That's my two ones I recommend a lot. Antwerp's also a great place. My students love Antwerp. They went there. We had a day off when I was teaching in Belgium, and they really liked it. Let's see. All right. Any recommendations for the best pommes frites? Anywhere. They'll be fantastic. You'll be fine wherever you have them. I actually like them with mayo on them. I know it's sacrilegious for some people, but seriously, the mayonnaise on the fries, especially in the Netherlands, are just amazing. Let's see. Yeah, gallivanting gals. Probably no walks today with the weather in Illinois and Indiana. Yeah, because you know how Jocelyn said we started to see some sun. We're starting to get the dark clouds coming up over there. So I might do, when we get off here, I might do a lap around the block just to get out for a little bit before it pours out rain, because we're supposed to have like bad storms today. And then it's like, oh, and then it lets up tomorrow morning and they start again tomorrow night. I'm like, oh, great. So there is that. So hopefully I can get out. Someone asked if you ever been to catacombs in Europe. Yes, I have been to Rome, and we've been to one in Rome, which was very interesting. We've been to one in Paris, Portugal. We've been to a few of them, and it's worth it. Though I will say, if you have any claustrophobia or fear of the dark and stuff like that, I would reconsider doing catacomb tours, because I've seen some people really freak out in them because of that. So like, my mom's like, I don't even mention it with my mom because she gets very claustrophobic with stuff. So that's one of those things I always look out for. And that's one thing is, I think when you travel, don't forget your same fears and likes are the same everywhere you go. So there's something you would like to do here, you might like to do it there too. So you can try that. I also find that's a nice way to meet locals when you're moving abroad. Do your usual life stuff. If you like the gym, you like playing guitar, you like doing those things, do it and find organizations to do those things, because then you have a common conversation starter with people. So that could be something you can really do. Let's see. Hey, in Austria, Klingston66. Hope you're doing well. Gallivanting Gals. Has anyone been to Fiji and Bora Bora? We have done Bora Bora and trying to decide if Fiji is good or to redo Bora Bora. So my friend Katie and her family they were in Fiji this last Christmas, and they really enjoyed it. So we were looking at going there too. Also, Delta flies are from LA. So hey, that's nice. Yeah, it doesn't sound like I'm a fan of road trips. I'm not a super fan of road trips, but there's one thing I do like about road trips. When we go on our road trips, we seem to spend more time talking to each other, and it's kind of like the quarantine in the car. We're actually getting time to talk and share times, and I really feel like when we were traveling a lot, because we travel a lot when we fly and go places, it's more like go, and I'm filming and stuff like this. Jocelyn's writing scripts and stuff like that, and the boys are doing stuff. I found on road trips I get a chance more to like be with my family versus working while I'm with my family. Like right now, we're all home together, and with all this stuff. And even though we're home together, I don't feel like I'm getting a lot of time with my kids, because I have to do my normal job, and the kids have the homeschool and stuff like that. So it's hard to find a way to like be together without driving each other crazy right now. So it's tough. But road trips, actually, I did like those. I remember talking about this with Jocelyn before all this started. I'm like, I wouldn't mind doing another road trip together, like on the West Coast or to the East Coast again, just to give us some time together as a family. And that's why, like, we're going to Ireland. We're going to Ireland later this year, and it's a family road trip. Like, the family's going to go. And I really like that because it got us together, because then we're not always on devices. We're not always, we're having time as a family. And Ireland's a great road trip country because there's stuff to see every hour, half hour, hour and a half. So no one's getting bored. Like, you can see something, and then you go see it, you spend the time doing that, then afterwards you're talking about it as a family, and then when people start to slow down, there's nothing to stop and see and do this or grab a bite to eat, so it's really nice. I was teaching in Leuven. That's where we had a class there. Let's see. The man with a plan. How is your college course, your teaching going? So this week I gave my students all YouTube videos, like pre-recorded videos, and then I do YouTube live Q&As. So they can ask questions. We discuss things this week. This coming week, my big, huge class, I have all the video. They have an exam, so I'll be online for 2 hours just sitting there like this if people have questions so I can answer them. So I don't know what I'm going to do to entertain people for 2 hours, but I don't have to, because they'll just put me on mute. If they have a question, they can type it in and I'll answer it. So I'll do that. But my other classes, I'll actually be doing the classes live. So I'll be like doing the talk and stuff like that this week. And then it's going to be kind of a mix where there's just live office hours and classes. It's a tough thing. And I actually put out a video like to professors saying, hey, here's some tips on transitioning your face-to-face class to an online class. Because the thing is, we're for professors out there and teachers and stuff like that, we designed our classes to be face-to-face. Like, I want to have those students there. I want to interact with them. And now that you don't have the students there, it's a totally different thing. And I think a lot of professors think that I have to have the exact same class that I had face-to-face online. Like, look, online, it changes things. You're not going to have the same class. You're like, I've seen professors that are like, I wrote to some colleagues and say, look, we need to have more grace and understanding for our students because we don't know what they're going through. Like, I have students, one wrote me, she's going back to be with her sisters and brothers, and they have 9 siblings fighting over the internet, and mom and dad are back home working too. So you have, 12 people on one internet connection? Like, can we do these live things? Like, record your classes. Let students watch when they want. Do a little bit of change in the attendance. And I had some colleagues who said, oh, I'll give them one extra attendance miss. I'm like, that is a crap move, dude. That is not cool. And so we really got to think about it. What's a better way for us to kind of help out and realize that we're not going to be great. Like online, going from face-to-face to online in 1 week is impossible. It's not going to be as good as a normal class because when you develop an online class, sometimes they give people a year to prepare it, and not like a week. And so it's a very different thing. And so that's where there's some good and there's some bad on there, and I know I miss my students. Like, I love teaching. Like, I want to be there. I want to help my students out. I want to get them ready for the real world. I love making friendships with my students, and I miss them. I mean, it sucks teaching, talking to a camera, and students, they don't always, talk back to you, but you can kind of read the room, and hear, like, they might comment occasionally and stuff like that, but it's a different beast altogether. So there's that. Yeah, also Sears Tower is a miss. Anyone with claustrophobia, yeah, especially when you're going up on the top there. I actually used to go to the Hancock building, go to the bar there, because you don't have to do the tourist thing. You can go to the bar. It's free to take the elevator up, and the drinks are not that expensive when you're up there. It's like normal Chicago prices. So it's like, hey, I can have a drink and a gorgeous view of one of the most beautiful cities in the U.S., Chicago. So that's cool. Let's see.
Pues na mesa.
So someone said the Saturday live feeds become their kind of religion. Yeah, for us too, it's a really nice kind of way to get out. Yes, Gallivanting Gals County Kerry is beautiful. I can move there. It is gorgeous. Henry Martinez, buddy, thank you very much for the super chat, my friend. Mark, is it worth taking a ferry from Dublin, Ireland to London, England? Your thoughts? Anything I should be aware of? So you don't really do the ferry Dublin to exactly London. Like, it'll take you over. There's better ways to do it than get down faster. You can do it. A lot of people do. I don't know, because you basically will be sitting up in a like a lounge area. So like think of the lounge at like an airport or something like that. You have like kind of a lounge like that or an airport kind of things. There'll be some duty free shop, not duty free shops, but there'll be some shops you can buy some stuff, a couple of cafes and things like that. I mean, it's easy to do. And it's one of those things, like if you already have a car or if you're just like, I want to go over that way, you can do that too instead of flying. So it's not a problem at all. Let's see.
Mark Finley, I don't know what the driving questions are, that because I was making the boys pancakes. Mark says, I've driven as much as 14 hours in one day. So when I lived in Savannah, I used to do that every time I came home. I would throw my dog in the car and the two of us would make that road trip as fast as possible. I remember literally driving through, it was 70 degrees. It's December, it was 70 in Savannah, and driving through, and it was like a 50-degree drop because it was in the 20s when I got to Illinois to my mom's house. And I remember slapping myself in the face because it was so cold. And I'm like, why don't I just stop? Because it was like there was a place, like a city every 2 hours, and you kind of recharged you, and then you get tired again and whatever. So, okay, that's all I have to say about that. But yeah. I know what you're talking about.
Let's see some other things out there. So heading to Montenegro once all this pandemic stems. So I've only been to Kotor, and I actually really liked it. The food was good there. The people were nice. So I think I've had that video edited for a while. I just haven't put it out yet, so I'll try to get that out for you. So there'll be something out there. So it'll be there. But yeah, no, I thought it was nice. It's worth going. It's worth a stopover for sure. Let's see.
Montenegro.
Montenegro. Yeah. Okay, so Nesoti, in my university, they removed all attendance. Instead, we have mandatory tasks, so they know if we view the lectures. My internet is so bad, I can't listen to them live. Yeah, and that's the thing. It's the whole live thing. It's like, I know some of you are saying, like, hey, we're getting some lag and stuff like that. And that's the thing is I mean, that's why I get really upset with some professors out there. That's why I put out videos about this. It's like, you don't know what their internet's going to be. They can't follow it live, and you don't know when they can watch it. That's why for my big classes, all those YouTube videos that are 5 to 10 minutes long, so they can do that, because YouTube will adjust and have you watch it at the 420 speed or the 420, not high def and stuff like that.
Right.
Whereas other places don't auto do that, and so we got to do what we can, because some places are really cutting back on internet speed people have.
What, baby?
You been over your pancake to make a pancake sandwich?
You folded it and made a pancake sandwich.
Nice.
Is it good?
Hungry.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So. Yes, get it out. Thank you. Okay, some other things. Eric Pelkey, keep up the good work. Mark and Jocelyn of Walter's World, love your channel, even though I don't travel much. Have a good rest of your weekend. Thanks. You too, Eric. We appreciate it. All of you have a great weekend. Celestine, what's your favorite language? My favorite one to speak in a fun way that I don't speak very well is Italian, but I always like speaking Spanish and stuff like that. So I'll whip that out with the kids and like we have to learn our Spanish. I'm like, entonces podemos hablar en español. Hacemos todo en español. Ay, no hay problema, sí. And they're like, what? I'm like, no, you have to say que. And they're like, ah. So I like it doing that.
So somebody was saying they're an EFL teacher. It's definitely not
Hunter
the same.
Hunter Hans.
Yeah. I had a kind of meltdown yesterday with the whole like, why am I doing this? Because there's a lot of angst in our house during school time, and there's arguing and fighting, and I just is what we're giving our kids. Basically, I feel like all we're trying to do is keep our kids from falling really far behind. But at the same time, I'm like, some of what we're teaching them, I know we're teaching it wrong. I know that we're getting certain things wrong. But if every house is getting some stuff right and every house is getting some stuff wrong, how much is going to have to be retaught when they do go back to school next year or whatever? Like, I feel like...
Yeah, and then because some people will say, "Oh, well, they're going to be behind starting next year." I'm like, everyone is going to be behind. Everyone will be behind.
Everybody will be in the same boat, so it's not really behind. It's just a new different. It's a new normal. And I'm trying to get like Liam. We have allowed them some grace in that. Like Liam did all of his math in one day.
Yeah,
that's a week's worth of math in one day because he loves math. Anyway, it's hard. I have a lot of questions about it, and are my kids going to be okay?
Yeah, yes, they'll be fine.
They'll be fine.
Paul Tipton, cheers, buddy. Thank you very much for the super chat. It really does make a difference. Thank you so much. Babs, you have a bunch of questions there. There are some travel groups that really specialize in lone travelers, and actually for multiple age groups too. I'm seeing a lot more of those. You can actually search. I mean, it sounds mean to be saying that. Search on Google because I can't think of the names off the top of my head. There's tons for like under 26. There's a bunch for older travelers too. But if you're like basically late 20s till you're retired, there are groups for that now. It's starting to pop up more and more. And it's kind of like making friendships when you travel. I can't think of the name off the top of my head though, so I'm sorry. Hey, in Poland, hope you're doing well.
Lauren said she did a trip from San Fran to Vancouver. Is that right? Is that what it said?
Dang.
With only 39-minute breaks for sleep.
I love the end. Read the end.
I know.
Read the end.
We ended up being super crabby at each other.
Yeah.
I would imagine so. See, when I did those marathon drives, I was by myself. It was me and my dog. You can't really get crabby at your dog.
Well, you can.
Not Q.
No, not Q. Q is good.
Q is the greatest dog ever. No offense, Brigadier. I love you.
Brig's awesome. Yeah, cheers out to everyone likes math. Yeah, I gotta go through Caleb's math for this coming week because his teacher face to face is fantastic. I mean, I've had students of mine in college that had her as a middle school teacher, and they're like, she was fantastic, and my kid has her now, and she does a good job because she teaches 7th grade math, the first class of the day. And the kids don't complain about math. I'm like, dang, that's a good teacher right there.
Pretty amazing.
So I got to figure out how she does that and try to teach my kids that way. So, let's see.
Well, I have yet to
Econ Wojtek. Wojtek. Oh yeah.
Econ Wojtek. I have yet to meet someone that failed or succeeded in life based on how they did in elementary school. It's so true.
Amen.
It would
Preach
be different
that,
if
my
they
buddy.
were in high school.
Preach that, Wojtek.
We're with you. I get that, but there's just this is a less than ideal setting for learning, and I know a lot of families. My cousin homeschools, and she's brilliant at it. But I remember her telling me, you know what, the first year was kind of a wash. Like, they didn't lose anything, but they didn't necessarily gain much either. It's just getting your feet under you and learning. Well, we're all, like, being thrown into this, and teachers are in the same boat. They're just, they're working their butts off to change everything. And I know that I'm just going to fail them. They've put all this hard work in, and I feel like I'm failing.
I know. And the thing is, shout out to all the teachers that are putting together packets for their students and doing those things. That is really nice because
God bless you.
And I always love the comments like the teachers, like the memes, the teachers like with their coffees. Oh, but they always act so well in my class and never do anything wrong. And so it's kind of like a payback kind of thing. So I think that's kind of funny. Let's see.
Favorite Stephen Lebowitz. What are your favorite
destinations
with kids? Usually things that are a little more adventurous.
Iceland, Costa Rica, Nicaragua, Brazil,
Tanzania,
Ecuador,
Rwanda.
Those are actually Ireland and
Italy.
Scotland are really good because you have a lot of outdoor stuff. Italy's good because people
They
love
love
kids and
kids.
they're outside doing things. Because the thing is, especially if you got younger kids, like people are like, well, they don't like museums. Well, kids will like a museum. They don't like 10 museums. So you really have to plan and also make sure you're planning time for your kids because honestly, we take our kids all over the world and they've had some good times. And like some stuff, but we know that we got to make sure we're planning that time in for them. And if you have teenagers, make sure you're getting them involved in terms of what they could do. Because Johnson been putting together, redoing a lot of our older videos on how to travel with kids and stuff like that. But we'll put those out when we're traveling again, so you get some better background than this. Because after 2 months of live feeds, you're like, I don't want to see that fireplace anymore. We need a new background. So we'll work on that. One Yo, yes, we'll come back to Freiburg. We were there end of last year, so I have one more video. I have
October.
Yeah, I have the. I guess that's not the end. Well, October. I have the mistakes of visiting Germany. I still have to put out that I filmed in Freiburg, so we'll have that there. So there'll be more stuff coming out. Anyway, favorite cities in Spain. Cordoba, because we spent time together there. No, I think for tour, I do like it. But I don't know if I could list two, but I know there's ones I really enjoyed going to see. When you got the big ones of Barcelona and Madrid, I always recommend people going there. But I think some of the smaller places, like going to Cuenca or going to Ronda, going to Granada, those are really nice. I really enjoyed that. If you got a day trip to Segovia, it's well worth it. So there's some options out there.
Catherine Fertal. Hi again. Thanks for the chats. Keeps me sane. Keeps us sane too, sister. 10 days in Italy with 3 kids. Rome, Pompeii, an island like Ischia or Capri. Or Rome, Florence, and Venice. First trip. You know what? So we've done all of those things with our kids. Actually, only one kid went to Pompeii and Capri. But honestly, either one would do well. Florence, for me, is a little too hectic with kids. Florence is... There's a lot of panhandlers. There's a lot of pickpockets. As far as I'm concerned, that's kind of difficult. But the good thing about being up north is that you can stay somewhere like Lucca or whatever, where it's a smaller town and you get like outdoorsy stuff. Rome is on your list either way, and Rome is excellent for kids.
Watch old Looney Tunes.
Yeah, there's old Looney Tunes that has stuff about the Colosseum and whatnot. But then Liam and I were just watching What's New Scooby-Doo, and it's a newer Scooby stuff. And they visit, I think it's Pompeii. Yeah, it's Pompeii. And they do like a tour of Italy. Actually, there was a bunch where they showed a bunch of little places all over Italy, but it was mostly centered on Pompeii. Pompeii leaves so much. I love this saying by Anne of Green Gables. It has much scope for imagination. Pompeii and Herculaneum both are great towns to see a lot of stuff. Capri, cool, but for us, it's a day trip sort of thing. Like we stayed in Sorrento, took a boat over,
had lunch.
And we had lunch. We saw the Blue Grotto, and then instead of going back to the marina, we actually asked them to drop us off right there, and we hiked up the island and went to Anacapri at the top, which was great. So my opinion, I'm probably leaning more toward the south trip rather than the northern trip. Sorry if that was a really long explanation. I tend to be that way.
Oh, not at all, Careca. Boa tarde. Boa tarde for you too. I guess bon dia. Well, it's about noon, so it depends where you look at it. Michael Mann, thank you very much for the super chat, my friend.
Thanks, Michael.
Have to run now. Everyone stay safe and be kind to one another. Thanks to Mark and Jocelyn, and a special thanks to all of those that are taking care of us. Way too many special groups to mention. Yeah. Amen to that, Michael. There's so many people. Thank you, everybody. And thank you to everybody that's doing their part to help keep everybody safe and staying home and stuff like that. So thank you so much. We know it's tough.
Yeah. And thank you, Michael.
And thank you, Michael, for all that you're
Cindy
doing.
Hi.
Yeah, give everyone our love. How are you guys doing with everybody back together? You can tell us on the next chat because you'll be back. I know, buddy, because Mike and I we follow each other on Twitter too and talk that way.
There was one right up here. We be traveling more outside of Europe and North America, and this is over. Really enjoyed your videos from Morocco.
So, in terms of videos we have coming, because here's the thing: is a lot of people will actually get comments and people get upset with us that we never go anywhere but Europe. Like I'm like, no, we have hundreds of videos from South America and Central America. You got tons of stuff from Japan and China and stuff like that, and all over the U.S. and Canada. And people are like, "Oh, I never saw that." It's because YouTube, what it does is it kind of gives the algorithm will show you our videos of stuff you've watched before. So if you saw us watching a Rome video, they'll give you a Venice video, and then they saw a Venice video, then they'll send you a Vienna video. So people see that. So we do have a bunch of those, but I do have more coming out from Rwanda and Tanzania, Nicaragua, Brazil, Argentina. We got much more of those things, and we will be doing trips not in Europe as well. So I'm putting more. So we try to, because I really enjoy Latin America, so we really try to do a lot of Latin America videos. But the thing is since people don't watch as many Ecuador videos as they watch like Italy videos. So then YouTube doesn't push out Ecuador videos to travelers, because you may subscribe to us, and I hope you do. Thank you very much. But that doesn't mean you see all of our videos when they come out. So it's kind of like the algorithm kind of stuff. So we're putting the videos out. We're traveling these places, but the views aren't like people
well,
don't
and
get
there are
seen.
still places that we have to hit, but it's sometimes difficult, like the Middle East. Difficult to get there because we don't want to go for like 5 days. I mean, it's expensive. So we want to make it worth our money, right? Because we're taking 4 people, so we want to be able to go for a long time. Well, when we can go for a long time is when the kids are out of school during the summer, and oh my gosh, I don't know that Mark would survive that.
I think I would burst into flames, and then I would burn for a long time for all this fat here, or just like sizzle for days.
Well, and the same thing with a lot of Southeast Asia and Australia. It takes a long time to get there. It costs a lot of money. There's a lot that goes into that, and it may end up being that we do something like we go to Europe, and from there we go to the Middle East or Africa or whatever for 10 days or something and come back.
Because we went last year when we did Rwanda, Tanzania. We went. I was teaching Europe, and then we did a little European thing. Then we went 2 weeks into East Africa, and that was one thing we were going to do in Ethiopia maybe this summer, but things are getting kind of moved up. Now, Max Maton or Max Maton, I don't know, however you like to say it. I found your channel in 2015 when procrastinating preparing for school exams. Crazy to see how the channel has grown to 500,000 plus subscribers. Now I can watch when procrastinating for university exams. I am glad that we can help you with your procrastination.
That's cool, Max.
Yes.
Cool.
Okay. I got to take this guy on a walk before the rain comes. So
he's going to lose it. Oh, it's 11:41.
Yeah, so we love you all. Thank you so much for being here. We'll be back Wednesday at 8 p.m. Here, I'll go through our stuff we're going to be doing. Okay, so
but before you do that, can I just shout out to
Yes.
Michael? Michael's just left, and to Mark, who were moderating today. You guys were really busy today, and you didn't get a lot of questions in, and but we will do that on our patrons and members chat. But thank you for helping us, and for all of you, keeping things clean for everybody.
Yeah, thanks, y'all. So to give you a heads up, so for the month of April, we will be doing our live feeds the entire month, every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. in Chicago time, and then on Saturdays like this one, 9 a.m. Chicago time, and usually they're running about 2 hours now, so you can come and go whenever you want and have a chat, have a drink with us, have breakfast with us, whatever. We're doing those things. In terms of Walter's World for new videos, so we feel it's time to put out some travel content. Somebody just walked by with a big dog. Oh, squirrel!
Brig did not see it.
Brig did not see it. I'm
Thank
like,
God.
I can't believe it didn't go crazy. Starting tomorrow morning, we'll be putting out new travel videos every Sunday, Wednesday, and Saturday, or Saturday, Sunday, and Wednesday, or Wednesday, Saturday, Sunday, however you want to put it. So it'll be Sunday at 7 a.m., Wednesday at 7 a.m., and then on Saturdays, after we do these live feeds, we will have a premiere. And since we're going till almost noon, I'll do it at noon. So we'll have a premiere for live feeds at noon for a new video. So there'll be content out there, because we've had some families that wrote us and say, hey, we watch your videos for our homeschooling, we watch it for our geography kind of stuff. I'm like, all right, we need to get back and put some travel stuff out there. So if you can watch and do that, we'd really appreciate it. So we'll have those coming out. If you want my business videos, Professor Walters is our other channel, and we're putting out new business videos every single day in April at 7 a.m. So little 3 to 8 minute long business videos learning about different marketing or business topic. We'll be focusing a lot on advertising the next couple weeks, and then after that we'll be doing social media marketing. So some business stuff out there. If you want to read Jocelyn's quarantine blog that are coming out 3 or 4 times a week, go to waltersworld.com, and now we'll be doing that while we're on quarantine. Also, to give you something to read, we're doing some of our older videos and we're writing blogs up on those. So it'll be short, easy blogs of some of our videos. We'll be putting one of those out every single day as well. And let's see. And also, you can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. It's Walters World. Also, you can go to follow Jocelyn on Instagram at Jocelyn Walters World. You can do there. You can always write us and contact us that way. We really appreciate what all you guys do. Carlos, in terms of the podcast, because with all this stuff that's going on, we've had to push the podcast back a little bit because with my work, they've moved all my classes to online, so I have to film all that stuff and do all those things. So I about have like 100 and some odd videos I have to film for my class, so that has now taken up all of my time probably for the next few weeks. Once we have that out of the way, then the podcast will be coming because we do have the software, we do have the ideas for the first few podcasts put together, so we're ready to rock and roll. But
It's
right
time.
now, we'll have it. But right
How
now,
we're on quarantine and don't have enough time. I don't know.
I know it's an unbelievable one. And the thing is one of the things I think this kind of our live
Professor
feeds.
Walters.
Yeah, I'll put that. Our
Mache, Wine Wednesday, wine, whiskey, whatever Wednesday. Yes, we'll see you then. Maddie, sorry, and we've been on for like 2.5 hours. I'm sorry you only just now got in. So dag nabbit.
yeah. So we'll have all kinds of stuff, but yeah. So we're trying. One of the reasons why is because we decided to do these live feeds like every twice a week, and then I'm doing stuff for my classes. So this is kind of taking up all our podcast time, but it will be coming. Don't you worry. We love you all. Thank you all, everybody. We really appreciate all you've done and your support and all the super chats. Thank you, everybody, help supporting out all of our patrons and members. If you want to be a patron, you go on some of our smaller chats. You go to patreon.com/WaltersWorld, or you can click the join button on YouTube and find out more about joining, become a member that way. So we have some extra benefits for them. Some smaller chats with instead of like 500 people going by with all the questions, it's a little bit shorter. And we actually we have people send their questions in earlier, so we can do some research beforehand and have, instead of like 2 minutes on a topic, we can spend 10 minutes on a topic. So all kinds of great stuff. Spectrum, good to see you. I know it's Maddie, but I still like saying Spectrum.
Peter, glad we could keep you company at breakfast.
Yeah.
JF, thank you. We enjoyed it too.
Baggy
Vincent,
T.
I want to go to Bhutan badly.
Yeah.
We're crossing our fingers.
So Baggy T, we'll talk about Argentina on Wednesday. So I have your questions. When we get on, we can start chatting about that. So love you all. Be good.
Right.
Stay out of trouble, everyone. Thank you for your
Bye.
help. Thanks, Mark. Thanks, Mike. Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Terry. Everybody be good. And until
Be
our
safe.
next live
See you
feed.
Wednesday.
See you Wednesday.
Bye.
Bye.